Okay, on to this week's Street Talk then, and yeah, definitely lots of Swarla stuff to talk about this week. Not just Swarla. I thought it was a good week on the whole, wasn't it? I think you gave it quite a few bangings.
I did
Were they
actually.
all bangings on the Street Talk shorts this week.
Was it 2 or what?
I can't remember. But
3.
Yeah,
2.
it was a pretty good week, I'm going to say. But before we get on to that, of course, we have got our clickbait headlines for the week. Gemma, I hope you're ready for this. They're all Carla and Lisa themed, I have to say. Number 1, this is from the Liverpool Echo.
Yep.
ITV Coronation Street affair sealed for Carla Connor after Lisa Swain proposal. So it's saying that Carla is going to have an affair with somebody, but who? Who could
Thanks
it
to... Is this Jonathan sent these?
Yes.
Thank you, Jonathan. She...
That sounded like you're blowing her raspberry.
Thank you, Jonathan. Who... Is it... okay, can I ask if it's a man or a woman?
Woman.
Yeah, of course.
Woman affair.
Woman affair.
And this is a woman who has also expressed sometimes having a preference for women.
Tracy.
Yes,
Obvious.
obviously. Ex-rival Tracy is now going to have an affair with Carla,
Yeah, did the
according
person
to people at the Liverpool Echo.
who suggested this, are they aware of Tracy and Carla's history?
Probably, but that makes it all the spicier,
it
doesn't
does.
it? It's brilliant. I don't think that's happening.
No, they're too
but,
bitchy.
Yeah,
I don't know what would happen.
I can't see anything getting in between Lisa and Carla at the moment, to be honest. Okay, what about this one then? Coronation Street fans predict history-making plot for anniversary as Swarla engaged.
First gay lesbian wedding.
Yes. What's the anniversary they're talking about?
65th anniversary of Coronation Street on the 5th of December.
Not quite the 5th of December,
What
but
is
you're
it then?
close enough.
What is it?
9th. So bad I can ever remember. I think it's the 9th. It could be the 7th. I can't remember. I'm terrible. Yeah, so Coronation Street 65th anniversary this year. Are they going to have the wedding to celebrate the anniversary?
9th of December.
Phew.
Thank God.
Not lost my reputation then.
What are you saying?
Could well be. It wouldn't surprise me at the moment. The way they're going, making it all about Lisa and Carla. Not that lots of fans are complaining.
Don't ruin my Christmas month by having a wedding.
Lastly, Gemma, this was a weak headline. ITV Coronation Street fans, this is also the Liverpool Echo, ITV Coronation Street fans all say the same thing over perfect scene.
This was when we found out that Roy was wearing glasses and everyone was saying, should have gone to Specsavers.
Not quite, but what do you think of Roy's new look? New bespectacled...
I think Roy Nielsen got glasses.
David Nielsen.
Sorry, Roy Nielsen, played by David Cropper, got a new pair of glasses, and he's saying, I'm wearing these now.
Well, I think David Nielsen has been wearing glasses for quite a while in role. Off screen, hasn't he? And maybe this is just a transition. I don't know. It's going to take me a while to get used to. It's a bit like when they grow beards. Like when Roy grew a beard when he was in prison. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
Tracy's beard was my favourite beard.
Who was that then?
Steve McDonald.
Roy is fabulous in anything, but yeah, a bit different. But yes, that is not it, Gemma. What is the perfect scene that this article is talking about?
Is this to do with the engagement scene?
Yes.
Saying, it reminds me of Officer and a Gentleman.
No. I don't think it was. I'm going to give you this. I did skim the article, but the article seemed to be saying that the thing that Coronation Street fans were all saying over that perfect proposal scene...
Are they going out with each other?
No, it's just that, that was lovely. That was a perfect scene. I couldn't really glean much more out of the article than that.
Somebody's got to do... they've got stuff to do, right?
Clearly.
They've got to fill up their deadlines with stuff.
See, I'm a bit confused about this. What I would have said that this article was surely referring to is what I've seen a number of people comment on, is that was a good proposal scene, but it did come with a caveat, and I think that was the same for us, wasn't it? Let's rip this plaster off right now. To me, that was not a perfect proposal scene because of the bloody music.
I haven't watched it again since. I couldn't.
I've watched it once since. Sometimes when I like something really gets my goat, I think, am I just overreacting? Because I'm sure this isn't a surprise to Conversation Street listeners that I didn't enjoy the music, because I very, very, very rarely enjoy any of that kind of stuff on these scenes. But I watched it again and I was like, no, that really did spoil it for me. But that wasn't universal, was it? There was a lot of people that thought that added to it. It felt like that proposal scene was really kind of, it was going for the, it was going for the hardcore Swarla fans there, wasn't it? And making it. I'm just a bit disappointed that now the Swarla fans don't need to make their own edits of the proposal scene because it's already been done.
Somebody did make an edit, but with the music
they?
from a different thing.
They don't need to.
I'm too scared of them to say anything bad.
Can I? No, it's fine.
They'll kill me.
No, do you say what you thought?
No, I'm scared of them.
I'm going to say what you thought.
Some of them are very scary.
Gemma agrees with me. And we both watched that scene and we went, oh.
No.
Music over the front of it because it was a nice scene. It was a nice scene, wasn't it?
No, I went, oh.
That's what it was. So I mean, let's just talk about that proposal scene now because that was the highlight of the week. That was the biggest moment of the week. This is the thing that this Carla Lisa storyline has been building up to for who knows how many weeks or months. I thought that as a proposal, pretty good. If you've listened to our bonus Patreon episode that we've done recently, which you may well have done if you subscribe to our Patreon, we did a top 5 proposals. And my kind of general overall impression of what I think makes a nice proposal on the whole is something that's a little bit more intimate between the two characters and not something with an audience. But you had quite a few audience ones in there, didn't you? The public proposal.
Yeah, okay.
But I generally, prefer it when it's just two people and they're not kind of doing it for show. But I actually quite like this show. And having them been at the factory and then you hear the police sirens outside and then Lisa's there in her uniform, gets her hair out. I thought it was really, really sweet. It was a bit of a shame. I agreed with what some people said, that it was a shame that a lot of the onlookers weren't known characters. If you're going to do it for an audience, don't make it for an audience of supporting artists. No offence to Dirk, obviously, but maybe it would have been nicer if some more of the main characters had been there. But so I enjoyed that, and I really liked the fact that it was kind of a double proposal, but not. Because we were wondering, weren't we? Or lots of people have been wondering, is Lisa going to be the one that jumps in and proposes to Carla? And she did, but Carla had the ring ready, but she didn't go down on one knee, so it felt a bit different, don't you think?
Yeah. I said that in the short.
Well, I know. I just wonder whether I'm just giving you the opportunity to expand on that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'm allowed to specifically talk about one thing that you told me I'm allowed to talk about.
Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want. We're just talking about the proposal scene at the moment.
I'm scared of the Swarla fans. No, I can't fight them all together. I can only fight one-on-one.
It's not all of the Swarla fans either, is it?
I have to meet you out the back of the set at 5 p.m. on Thursday next week, right? Because we're not allowed around the front anymore. More on that in the news. And I'll fight you one by one if you're mad about it, but you shouldn't be.
What are you saying about it, Gemma?
No, I thought it was great. Everyone should know this by now. If you don't, you're obviously not, you're new, but I'm not sentimental or romantic. I don't like love or happiness. I also don't like music in Coronation Street, so there's nothing you can do to make me like it. In fact, I will hate it. So that I was disappointed. I don't really see, I feel like I've argued about this already on the internet, or I've seen it as lots of arguments and had discussions about it, that I feel exhausted by a little bit. It doesn't really matter. It's all a matter of opinion. It doesn't matter, though. That's the thing. I'm glad that Swarla fans really loved it.
Yeah. The concept of Lisa coming in and doing the whole... What did she say? I don't remember. Like, you have the right to remain sexy or something. I can't remember.
No, she didn't.
It was something along those lines. I don't know. I probably got it in the notes later.
The thing is, also, like I said before about Twitter especially, that's actually the only one I see Coronation Street things on, to be honest with you. All the Swarla fans have been talking about this proposal for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and they also had got the pictures from this episode that one of them had Lisa in her uniform in Roy's roles, and they were going, oh my god, what if she's proposed with her uniform on, what? And talking about that and how excited they were and how some of them thought it was cheesy. I did think it was cheesy, and I thought that was the whole point of it. It was proper cheesy, schmaltzy. And it's so funny because wasn't there a conversation that the two of them had about the having the ring in the champagne glass being a bit cheesy, because
Yeah.
that was what Becky did. And then Lisa's like, just goes all out. I thought it was so funny. Her driving the police car, and then Uncle Rai was on the bullhorn going, "Come out with your hands up," or whatever he said. Honestly, a lot of it's gone out of my head.
It wasn't cheesy.
When
Like
she was standing there with her, Lisa was standing there with her hat under her arm, and I was like, "Put on your hat. Put on your hat." I really want to see her with a hat on, but she had other ideas because she took her hair down so we could see her beautiful tresses, which was probably a good move, because maybe if she had the hat on, maybe it made it into an arrest legally. I'm not sure. I don't know how the police work.
I enjoyed Betsy's inclusion, just being there to like toss the ring box.
Give
over
Carla
to
a nod.
Carla.
A
Yeah,
nod,
yeah. I think that Betsy's been really, really good this week. I'm warming. I never really hated Betsy or anything like that, but I'm definitely warming to her a lot more at the moment. Now that she's not going around blackmailing everybody.
I was going to say, let's not forget that Betsy was brought in to be an urchin who was what's the word? She was more of an antagonist.
Yeah, she was.
Then she's turned out to be a lovable scamp.
Yeah, she's really decent character now. I mean, her eyes have been turned. Her head's been turned by Brody a bit this week, so I'll have to see where it goes there. But Betsy's been lovely, and then there's all the stuff on Monday, when we'll get there in a minute, when she was helping Carla decorate the garden, was good. What I also really enjoyed, one of my favourite shots was that overhead shot. You know,
yes,
when
of the four of them.
That wasn't too cheesy for you, when Carla and Lisa are
Well, they
hugging,
had
and then
played the
Ryan
music.
and Betsy come in, and they all
You can't. I need to watch it without the music.
Well, I'm sure I can arrange that
But
for you. Just put the mute button on.
But it obviously was directed and performed for music to be played. I'm sure if you had that scene without the music in it, it would just look really awkward and weird. So I don't know. I don't think it needed it. I always feel like soaps don't need non-diegetic music.
No,
because
go on. No, I was just going to say, because when we watched those bits of Emmerdale a couple of weeks ago, it felt like there was more in that. And
yes,
was that,
there's loads. There's loads in it.
Especially when Andy Carver and his bow and arrow are chasing what's his face through the forest. Literally, all those scenes seem to have some kind of background music or ambient, some kind of sound effects in it. And do Emmerdale do this all the time? Or have we just tuned in on a week? Because it doesn't
work for me. It strikes me as not being confident of anything. Like, you're not confident of your performers, you're not confident of your scriptwriter, you're not confident of the direction,
Exactly.
You're not confident about the story, you don't trust your audience to know what to think.
But it's weird. I don't feel that about other.
No,
I don't
nothing
feel that
at
about
all.
film.
No,
or
there's no other
high quality drama.
There's no other medium where I think the same thing, except for maybe like found footage. You would never get that found footage. And what is Coronation Street if not the found footage of Ken Barlow's memories when he dies, and it's all been uploaded to the cloud.
It kind of is, isn't it? Soaps are supposed to be a bit of a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
And as soon as you put anything extra into the production, it just takes it away just that little bit. A big thumbs down for that side of it. But on the whole, the proposal I really enjoyed.
And I want to put my foot down on it, really, because I'm really super concerned that this is going to be a trend on Coronation Street to add this music in.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, quite apart from the fact that
slope.
when we watched Emmerdale, I didn't like it in Emmerdale. But it's, whatever, if Emmerdale fans like it, okay. But we don't need all the soaps to be the same. We don't need it to be in Emmerdale and Corrie because it's in Emmerdale.
I would
Can't there
say
be some
that
differences?
the lack of music makes it different from, say, the Australian soaps and the American soaps.
Well, yeah, like I said.
It's a hallmark of British soaps. It's just,
some of them.
Bog standard, what it should be. Plain as you like, warts and all, sort of,
Like I said, when I was doing the soap quiz for Soap Week, I had to look at a few clips and stuff to put together the quiz, and there were so many bits of incidental music and stuff in all of the soaps that weren't Corrie, and it was just, to me, it's cringy. And I don't I'm not going to argue with anyone who disagrees with me because it's a personal preference.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be become a habit, or a common thing. But it seems it's becoming one, isn't it?
I don't mind
like when Mick dropped off of his prison van the other month when he was escaping.
I don't like it. I don't mind a bit of clever in-universe music playing on a jukebox, or somebody decides to whack on the tape.
Well, I was watching
I don't mind
this,
that at all.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when we heard this music, I was thinking that we were going to see Betsy there with a ghetto blaster or something, and that would have been absolutely fine.
Perfect.
It's so funny what the difference is. Just seeing somebody there playing it, it's like, that's okay. In the scene today where we had Lisa walking down the street and the lurker was there in the garage looking at her, and she looks over and there's music playing, and I literally was thinking, is this in universe? Is this diegetic or is this non-diegetic music? I don't know. And it turned out I think it was just music at the garage. But then it got me thinking, what was it that Lisa noticed that made her look? And I suppose we'll get more into this later. Is that song that was being played there like her and Becky's song?
Oh.
Because she looks over and I think she gives a little smile about it. And I don't know whether she was remarking on...
She must have heard it.
Yeah, she did. She did definitely hear it. But yeah, it's making me wonder whether... let's get to it later.
Oh, damn, I was going to say something.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there definitely was... Because we watched some engagement proposal clips for our Patreon, patreon.com, Conversation Street. Search and support us, please. That would be lovely. On there definitely was there was one proposal outside the factory, which must have been to Carla, where somebody had a boombox like in that movie.
No, that was Tim's proposing to Sally, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, she was in the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the boombox, didn't he? In that movie with what's his face.
I know it is a movie, but I don't know which one.
I think they probably thought, oh, we'll do that, and then they realised they'd already done it with Tim and wasted it on a character as dire as he is.
Oh, come on. Yeah, that's kind of what we thought. Just getting that out of the way, because I'm sure people were interested to know, but I also imagine some of you might have guessed. Let's run down which storylines we're going to be chewing the fat over today. We're going to start off with that Swain engagement story, obviously.
I don't really want to fight the Swarla fans at all. I want to be friends with them. Please don't hate me because I didn't like the music. No, I wanted to like. I really want. What I didn't even want. I did want to like it, but I also liked it without wanting to like it.
Yeah, exactly. So Swain engagement comes first. I'm also calling this fake tears because there was a fake tear in today's episode, wasn't there?
She was even credited as fake tear Wardley.
Question is, are Christina's tears fake?
Don't know, tell me.
Get onto that later. Undertaker Under the Thumb comes next, and Todd, I was so proud of you on Wednesday, and you just blew it on Friday, taking him back. You.
Well, he's being manipulated.
Yes. Right, next up we got the Christina and George storyline. I'm calling it Boyd George, because her name is Christina Boyd. It's like Boyd George. Do you get it?
I also thought it sounded like Lloyd George.
No, Boyd George.
Like Lloyd George knew my father.
Boyd George. Barry Webster is next, and then we have got... Oh, no.
What?
It's the Debbie story. I've written Webster Act here because it's like Sister Act, but you wanted me to call that Andrew Lloyd Webster, which is the other one. So Andrew Lloyd Webster is next, and that was one of my highlights of the week as well, to be honest. That needed a lot more. Right, what would you rather do, the Todd and Theo story, or would you rather take charge of Carla? I'm going to defer to you.
I want to do this one.
You go for it. What has been going on with Carla and Lisa and her neighbours this week? Because that's how it starts on Monday, isn't it?
I'm going to redeem myself to the Swarla fans now by doing your story.
You're so paranoid.
I am scared.
Is this because we had somebody commenting on our Emmerdale video on YouTube today?
What did they say?
We will get to it in a minute. The video of us going to Emmerdale, somebody wrote in and said, what's the point of this? You don't even know what Emmerdale is.
No, he said, if you're not Emmerdale fans, you're wasting everyone's time with your silly podcast about the tour. And then they blocked us.
I loved it. What was the point of that?
It did actually make me laugh because of how stupid it was.
Gemma's the sort that will take anything that comes close to criticism to heart normally.
Don't give people ammunition.
But honestly, that was the most... Anyway, sorry, go on. What's been going on in the world of Carla and Lisa?
David is taking every opportunity to complain about his new neighbours, and I absolutely love it. I think he's great being a grouchy neighbour. This is just comedic gold.
Yeah.
He brings around a load of parcels that have been delivered to his house, and he also has to go at Lisa because she parks her car all over the place. Well, he has to go about Lisa to Carla, who's like not bothered.
Do you think that's what gave Lisa the idea to park the cars right in front of number 8 for the proposal on Wednesday's episode?
Right, yeah, I mean, I'm not it would make me sad and cry if my neighbour was mad at me. I wouldn't retaliate at all, but I like watching people who stand up for themselves.
The thing is, with this whole David thing, especially with recycling, he's in the right.
I know, we were talking about this.
Like,
if somebody kept putting their recycling in my bin, I would get a bit cross.
I think no. I think we might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but I get if you've just moved in, you've probably got a lot of cardboard boxes going around, so maybe your own recycling bin is full. But so I think
it's not right.
Ask to use somebody's bin.
It's not right at all.
No, and what was it that they'd thrown some magazines and this Tia Wardley thing in the bin as well? So it wasn't it wasn't moving.
No, it's really old.
Yeah,
it's old stuff from the old place. What are they bringing it with them for?
I don't put it in David's bin.
But
I know Carla's only lived in flats all her life, so maybe she doesn't
communal bins. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I also would add, I don't go through my bin. So I wouldn't know if you're putting stuff in. If you put a handful of magazines
everyone's going to be doing it.
I wouldn't know.
No, I know.
But if you want to put some clues into a crime, that would be awesome.
I tell you what, I mean, I know we're jumping all over the place here, but one of my favourite tiny moments of the week was David checking all the magazines, says, you can have your hire back, you can have your chit chat back, you can have your Mr. Minute pizza 50. Oh, I'll keep this one actually, 15% off. I'll have that one.
Wasn't that from last week?
No, that was Monday.
Okay, right.
That was really well performed, and it was just a tiny little bit that Jack P. Shepherd did an amazing job at.
Yes.
The thing is, we all get who hasn't got a 15% off their pizza voucher, so it wasn't even.
I wouldn't go for 15% off.
I know. We want to buy one, get one free or nothing.
The prices they try to charge you for one pizza in this country is abominable, isn't it?
I know.
They're like, how much will you want a pepperoni pizza? That's £30, please. But don't worry, I'll give you 50% off.
I know.
What are you doing?
Right, anyway, sorry, carry on.
Right, so Lisa's being very interested and Carla's doesn't. No, this doesn't happen then. She's got these logs for the fire pit. And
Carla's planning.
She's like, I thought we'd eat outside tonight. Don't do that, Carla. You're going to set your plastic grass on fire, aren't you, love?
Oh, I know, that plastic grass. They couldn't hide that when David was throwing the magazines over, could they?
Now, we know my thoughts on plastic grass, but again, Swarla fans will have my guts for God, so I won't voice them here. What I will say is, in my head, it's not fake grass, it's real grass, because I don't think any of that's necessarily supposed to be fake. I think it's just they put fake grass in there. Because Sally's got fake grass around the front.
They used to have real grass in those back gardens, because I can picture some scenes from like 15, 20 years ago.
There's not enough light.
Proper grass growing there. But
it'd probably be an absolute nightmare for continuity and everything.
Maybe to get that bloke from Emmerdale down to come and look after, to do a bit of horticulturing.
Or whatever his name is.
But in my head, I suppose I could say, well, Carla doesn't cook because it's too much effort. Maybe she also doesn't garden as well.
I didn't want to say that if anyone's going to be plastic grass people, it's going to be Carla and Lisa, but I do think that.
But I think that Sally would probably want the real stuff. We're thinking too much about this. We're probably not supposed to have noticed.
A lot about a lot of things on this show that nobody should care about. Right.
There's some people listening going, yes, I hate Carla's fake grass as well. Right, go on there. Yeah, so Carla's plotting a proposal on Monday, isn't she? And a lovely romantic get-together with Lisa.
So they have a little kiss, and Lisa goes to work, and then this was very sweet as well. Carla sits Betsy down and says, I want to ask Lisa to marry me. And then Betsy's saying, are you asking me for my mum's hand in marriage? And she looks kind of stern and like there's a kind of ooh.
Oh yeah, she does the classic Corrie fake.
But then she says yes, of course, and they have a really lovely hug, and they're very, very close, aren't they?
Yeah, that was a lovely bonding moment. And I've seen people saying, and you get mad at me for saying this if you like, but people are saying, oh, Betsy is the daughter that Carla's always wanted. Personally, I'm going to say I don't think that Carla has always wanted a daughter. I don't think she's been craving a child all these years. In the slightest, there have been stories about her not being great with kids. But I'm really, really glad for her that she has realised that, maybe in the past she didn't like the idea of being a mum, but she's got herself a really, really lovely stepmother, because later on Betsy does that thing where I can't, what's she saying in an American accent, she says, oh mommy, or something, and that's again super cheesy, but it was sweet, and it seems genuine between them as well.
Well, I mean, there's a lot have been said about the fact that Carla is with a woman and she never was before, and I think that when this happens on the street quite often they'll say things like, oh, it's no, I don't have a label, it's just I chosen you, or like I love the person, not your body or whatever. But you could say the same thing about her relationship with Betsy. Like, I didn't want a daughter, but I love you and I choose you. If I could have any daughter, you could do a pretty good job of it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Choosing her is it's very lovely.
Well, it also kind of, I mean, maybe this is the same to you, because we've obviously talked about kids and whatever in the past, and you say, I don't like the idea of being a mum to a child. I like the idea of having a child that's grown up, don't you?
I wouldn't mind.
And this is what Carla's got now.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than that, but I've always said I would rather be a grandmother.
Yeah.
I don't mind any stage of it at all, but I just don't like the idea of having to do it forever.
Anyway, so Carla's living the dream at the moment.
So she's really excited, and Betsy proves how much she's accepting and cheerleading their relationship by decorating the back garden romantically. And I did notice a few that she had bunting, didn't she, everywhere, and I noticed some of them was made out of lace, some of the little flags, so I assume that she's raided the
underworld.
I thought that was a nice nod to...
Yeah, no, it was sweet. Very pastel-y.
It was...
with diegetic fairy lights.
Diegetic bunting, that's what it was. Betsy then grabs Carla's phone. She's like, I'm going to make you a playlist. And this is kind of annoying to me, because this was a perfect opportunity to have built in the music that we got played at the end, at the proposal, into this story about Betsy making a playlist, because it comes in later as well, this playlist. And she's going through it, and then David ruins everything and says, oh, you better not put your log fire on when I got my washing out. Yes, that's true as well. Please don't do that when I'm trying to do my washing.
I do feel a little bit like they're overdoing it with David.
I don't mind. I thought it was funny, because they're obviously...
It's funny, but...
He's like, you're not having a party. You're not having a party.
David is basically... I mean, it was David that got called Norris in one of the episodes, wasn't it? Nice callback. I think that he's doing an impression of a cranky old man. I don't think he is a cranky old man.
I think he's enjoying himself.
Hopefully it's that, because he just seems to be over-egging it slightly.
There's something about it that makes me think that it's either David or it's just Jack P. Shepherd having the time of his life, because there's an element of glee here that doesn't quite fit with being as angry as he says he is.
No, he's not.
So Carla... Then it's all ready, right? Lisa's come back from work. Carla leads Lisa into the garden, and Carla gives her a glass of champagne, and she's like, oh, it's just to mark us moving in and everything. And she's so nervous, and I thought Ali King was fantastic.
Yeah, it was like a month ago or whenever it was that it happened, wasn't it? She did a really good job.
What, a month ago what?
When she was going to propose to Lisa, but then bottled out of it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying now she's nervous.
Yes.
And I'm saying Ali King did a good job.
Yeah, and I'm saying that it was similar to when she did it a month ago.
Oh, right.
She'd already, proven, and then this was another example of it.
I can say it more than once.
I know.
She is so nervous and out of her depth. She sits Lisa down on the sofa, and Lisa's getting like the willies out of this. Well, not really, but like she's getting a bit. She's getting the vibes and getting nervous as well. Like, what is going on here? Then this is when David pops up to ruin it.
I think when we were watching it, you said, I hope David comes out now.
Those fences are abnormally low.
I know.
Anybody watching it from another country, just know that it's a pastime in this country to make your back fence as high as possible.
Yeah, but you can't. The thing is, on this program, you can't, can you? Because you need to have these. I suppose on the terraces they've got normal sized fences.
Because they're made of brick.
Yeah, and you have to.
They're canonically that size
to look over.
I think they're that low because they can step over them to do filming.
Quite possibly, but it also gives plenty of opportunity for things to come crashing through them, like drunk Sally once, and Dez's boat, of course,
and recycling from David's bin, which is not his. He throws all the stuff at them, keeps the Mr. Pizza voucher, and completely ruins it, because Lisa goes up, picks it all up, then she finds a page torn out of a notebook with, sorry, Carla, the most feeble attempt to solve a mystery I've ever seen.
I know. This is why Lisa's the cop and Carla's the boss, the nigger stitcher.
It's just Tia Wardley in the centre, in like a square, in like a rectangle, and then Becky, Matt, Logan, and the word Becky's boss coming out of it. She doesn't even remember what his name is, which is fantastic.
I know. Well, I noticed as well with that, and this is, this is the Daniel Osborne in me here. She'd originally written Becky's with an apostrophe and then crossed it out and then wrote Becky's without an apostrophe.
She's like, who am I kidding myself? Who am I kidding? I don't need to worry about...
That brainstorm must have taken all of 30 seconds. You're like, nope. These are all the characters that are involved in this story.
Right, so now what, if I've written them all down... I'm going to draw a line from her to all of them to remind me that they're connected in some way.
It was very feeble.
And that's it.
Carla had said that this was old. This was from when she was doing the investigating from it before. So I was half thinking, would Lisa have seen that before? My mind's a bit foggy about what went down.
No, she hasn't seen this before.
No, I know she hadn't. But Lisa immediately jumps to the conclusion that Carla is still...
Yeah, so Lisa had known that Carla had been investigating this, but told her to mind her own business. So when she finds this, she thinks that she's doing it again. And Lisa's like stropping about, and Carla's like, no, I didn't. I haven't. You told me not to. I haven't done it since. I promise. And Lisa's like, well, what if Betsy had found this? I think Betsy's the one who put it in the bin, to be honest with you, because she's always putting stuff in David's bin.
Yeah. Seriously, why are they putting things in their neighbour's bin? I get that maybe Betsy would, but...
I think Betsy's doing it to antagonise him.
Could be.
So Carla's like, I haven't done anything wrong. And Lisa's like, well, no, don't agree. I don't really know what happened here. I don't know who put it in the bin.
No,
It doesn't really matter. It's all just it's all just a reason to put off the engagement till tomorrow.
Yeah,
really.
I had a very strong feeling that there was going to be a proposal coming into this week, and when she got her there in the garden, I thought that this was it. I didn't predict the factory proposal or anything, so I was a little bit disappointed it didn't happen there. And me as a lover of intimate proposals, I still kind of wish that it had actually happened there,
I don't care about on screens. It doesn't matter to me whether it's a public one or a personal one at all.
Skywriting or anything.
I don't care. So I just want it to be different every time, and it's really hard to do. So,
and then this one was with the police car, I suppose.
I was trying to remember what I was going to say and I can't forget now.
Oh, sorry.
Right, so Carla's like drinking in the kitchen later. Betsy comes in like, yeah, what happened? And Carla says, sorry, nope, it all went wrong. And, that's what I was going to say. So this is now the second aborted proposal attempt, but 3 in total that we've had, because Lisa asked Carla before when Craig died, because she's like, life's too short. Proposal. And then Carla tried, like you said before, with the champagne. Then we've had this one that David ruined, and then tomorrow we have the proper one. Yeah. So Carla tried twice, Lisa tried twice, as they say, 4th time's a charm. So Carla's like, I can't do it now. I can't do it. It's too complicated. Betsy doesn't know what's going on. She just knows that something's happened and it's now complicated. So Betsy tries to talk to Lisa later. And she's saying, look, we just had a fallout. Don't worry about it. I feel like that Carla's doing stuff behind my back, and we should be talking about the things that she's doing together. And Betsy says, look, Carla loves you. And then... Yeah,
she kind of says, you've got no idea what's going on, have you? And I think this is...
Betsy says to Lisa, like, wake up, Mum.
Yeah.
Something's going on here that you haven't quite worked out. I feel so sorry for Lisa, because every time something happens and she's oblivious, everyone's like, thought you were supposed to be a police detective.
Yeah, you're not going to make Inspector of that.
It must be so annoying. But
I mean, we did see her having an excellent detective sense in today's episode twice. She knew that somebody was there spying on her without any seemingly evidence she just suspects that somebody's walking over a grave, apparently.
Right. On Wednesday, Lisa sends Carla off to work for part of her master plan, which my master plan is also go to work and earn money to pay off a mortgage, not to leave the house empty for proposals. No. So Carla is being bitchy.
Yeah, she's proper knocked off. She's mad at herself I think she's probably a little bit mad at Lisa for not believing that she hadn't been continuously, looking into Tia.
Wasn't Lisa rude and short with her in the morning?
Yeah, she was.
And it was like, oh, it's just a fake out. I always think it's a bit dangerous to be rude and horrible to your partner as part of a joke to make them think you hate them, but you actually want to propose.
Wow, it's a good job Carla wasn't hit by a car after that, was it?
Maybe that's
Lisa.
what happened with Becky.
Yeah.
So Betsy's doing the laundry when she hears
Lisa comes down,
yeah. And we don't see what she's looking at, but Betsy's like, what's that? What's going on here?
She says, what the actual
flipping Nora?
But what was it that she saw? Was it just
her
Lisa
uniform?
in her uniform?
Yes, in her uniform.
It's not like we've not seen her in that before.
Well, no, but why was she wearing it?
I don't know, maybe it's just a fancy dress day at work. It could have been another colleague's funeral. That
imagine if Betsy had been like, "Oh my god, Mum, that's amazing! What the actual hell?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a funeral."
No, D.S. McKinnon.
Yeah,
found in a Guinness.
Finally gone. Right, so factory, police sirens outside. Betsy comes running and going, "Oh, Carla, you need to go outside right away." And everyone's like, "Ooh, I heard Carla, but I really think you mean me too." So they all follow, and Lisa comes out of the of the car. Ryan's there, and the siren was going off, and I can't remember if they must turn off the lights because it would give Asher a flashback if she was looking out. Lisa comes out in her full dress uniform. She says, "You have the right not to remain silent." I got to ask you a question. And she says, "You are the most beautiful, courageous, confounding woman." I always love it in soaps when they have to put a slight insult in there, which is great. That I've ever met. And you would make me the happiest woman on the planet if you would do me the great honour of becoming my wife. She's down on one knee. She's got the little box. It's a heart-shaped box with a beautiful ring inside. She's given Carla a giant diamond. Music plays. Oh, and they kiss. Carla gets the ring given to her by Betsy, and she's given her a very nice, what they called eternity ring with all the diamonds around.
I can't say I looked at the rings that closely.
And then the camera swirls around, and they all embrace with Ryan and Betsy as well, because now they're a family.
Yeah.
They're a family. Well, TBC. TBW.
TBCS, Connor Swain.
Is Ryan going to change his name?
No.
I should do. Right, Lisa and Carla are... Also, it was very adorable, and I do not like public displays of affection, really, but it was very sweet because they were all over each other, and Carla was just, like, nuzzling in her hair, and it was very... They seemed besotted, didn't they?
It is nice to have a couple
that really, really love each other.
Yeah, that are soppy and romantic and lovey with each other.
And there's not some kind of secret that one of them's proposed to hide the fact that there's a secret affair or some kind of blackmail going on, or... Yeah,
like when do you ever see, like... I know it's different for them at the moment, but Kevin and Abby. I suppose you do get it a bit with Todd and Theo, but yeah, that's the one that...
That's to make you have a different reaction.
Yeah.
So who has been engaged since COVID?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Because the last people we had, Maria and Gary got married during COVID.
I lose track, but there must have been obviously Abby and Kevin, like I said, and Fizz and Tyrone, Fizz and Phil. Was Emma and Curtis post COVID? I think maybe.
Ronnie and Debbie.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's anyone quite as lovey-dovey on the street as Lisa and Carla, apart from Theo and Todd. But
I wonder whether they would be as lovey-dovey if Corrie didn't know that there was this big Swarla fandom that were just gagging for all of that stuff. I think in a way they're playing to the fans. That I
don't think anyone
really,
can
really
deny that there's a large element of fan service and self-awareness that is integral to how Coronation Street is playing this.
Yeah. I don't. If it hadn't,
they absolutely 100%.
If it hadn't sparked the imagination of those fans, I don't think we'd be seeing quite so much soppiness with it.
Yeah. I mean, the fact is that I'm thinking back, like I said, to my most recent memories of couples, and I don't really remember anybody being quite as demonstrative as they are.
No.
And I know.
Because I suppose you had it with Seb and Nina as well, didn't you?
I don't think there's something different about it. There's a lot more. It's a lot more like playful and sweet to me than like it's not sexy and raunchy. I know that people like to put the subtext in there and read.
Well, sometimes it's fairly raunchy.
Yeah. Okay.
The face cupping.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I think it's great, and I also think that Coronation Street is obviously sending a message with this couple about same-sex relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that a lot of Swarla fans also know that. You know, Kate Brooks has had a similar... I don't know how much similarity there is, but I know that she's married to a woman, and so a lot of people look at parallels between those two. If I was in that same position, I would very much be championing, trying to, you know, celebrate the love that I've found in a creative way on the show that I produce. So from that perspective, it's also very sweet. And I also think there's a little bit of catching up that they've got to do here, because gay relationships have been quite well represented, and by that I just mean in comparison to other television shows, rather than, I'm not talking about where they are as a benchmark of what they should be doing. But gay women on the street have been very it's sparsely represented.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't...
Last year we had Corrie's first gay wedding with Paul and Billy, 2 years ago.
Yeah. But even that it was, you know, at the time it was like, come on, you know, here we are. We're in insert year and we've only got to this far. But even still, we haven't had a lesbian wedding. We got so close with Sean and...
There is no way this one's going to fail. They are 100% going through with this.
And I know that Swarla fans...
Whatever happens with Theo and Becky.
A lot of Swarla fans really do not want any conflict or drama or road bumps or anything. But I'm just going to tell you that they will not be in it unless something's happening, because that is what the show is about. I've seen people saying, I want more scenes of like happy domestic bliss. You'll get in as all you're going to get.
I think that even next year, I wouldn't be surprised if we get quite a drop off.
That's
of
just how it
Carla
is.
And Lisa,
That's just how
because you have your characters that are in it a lot, and then you won't be able to do it. Hear from them. They can't. The actors
won't be able to do it.
Can't keep it up. So this is as good as it's going to get.
Because that's how it is. But it's not a reflection on it.
There's no way they are not getting married.
But
Can you imagine how some fans would react if they decided to drop a roof on Lisa's head or?
Well, it was bad enough the first time.
I know. They will not do that again. We are getting our Swarla wedding 100%.
Yeah, I brought it up because we've had, like I said, 3 failed engagements and 1, you know, done it. So I think the wedding will be a good, no worries wedding. And it's very rare on Coronation Street to get a wedding that just happens and everyone's happy. And nothing bad happens in that story. I
don't know. It all depends on when the Becky stuff's going to come out.
I don't know. I really think they owe Swarla fans just non-problematic. It just happens and everything's great. In the same episode, I'm sure other drama will happen with different stories. But doing 3 failed proposals and 1 real one, and then having a wedding that doesn't happen, and then they have to reschedule it, just seems like asking for trouble. No,
I think there's going to be trouble, but they will definitely get there.
Oh, they'll always...
It's like, it's like the Roy and Hayley on their first wedding, and the press were hounding them, and they got to the church, and then they had to call it off, and then in the end, they got married in the cafe. I can see maybe something like that happening. I'm just really, really curious to find out when all of the Tia Wardley stuff will reach a head.
It's going to happen much sooner than the wedding, in my opinion.
It must do, the way that it seems to be going.
I really want
the wedding definitely does seem like it could be a Christmassy.
I want a Christmas
wedding. Or even later. I mean, Christmas is not that far away, is it?
No.
You know, September, October, November, December, 3.5 months away.
I've got to go do something.
Right, come on, let's go. What else?
I just really want another Christmas wedding. Ashley and Claire got married at Christmas, and she got to wear a beautiful white cloak.
That's all you want? I
just want someone to wear a goddamn cloak again. Right. Lisa and Carla are all over each other, which is what brought up the sidetrack. They show the rings to Roy, who can see them with his glasses. Kit's there too. Congratulations. And he's like, she says, thanks. Yeah, thanks. And then he's like, come over here. Because now Craig's dead, someone's got to whisper secrets to everybody. He says, oh, we've brought Logan's uncle into the station. I reckon he's got some information on Costello or Becky. And I think Costello should be called Frostello this week. It's gone a bit... Or Crosstello.
I think he's a bit of a Mistello, isn't he, for a mystery? That doesn't work quite so well.
Crosstello works, or Costello, because he's yelling all the time at people.
Oh, I thought it was like yellow as a coward.
No.
Oh, yeah. But
No.
he's hiding around, doesn't he?
You can't make lurk into it, because I was going to be like Lurkello.
No, it don't work.
But Crosstello will do. He may have information on him or Becky, and she's
Nothing
like...
actually happened with Logan's uncle, did there?
No.
I think this is the one and only time it got brought up, so I don't know what's going on there.
I want to know what's happened to Asher. Anyway.
Asher has just...
Asher's drinking herself
This
to
is
death.
it. Yeah, as this doesn't get mentioned, Asher, on Monday, we hear that she's gone to the cyclist's funeral. We don't see it. Don't really get to see much about what she thought about it. And that's all we hear of her. Considering it was such a big part of last week's Corrie, that has so dropped off a cliff this week.
So Lisa's like, look, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of Tia Wardley. Don't... And Kit's like, what? Reacts to Tia Wardley.
Yeah, he hadn't known up to this point that this had been a thing.
Right, so Tia Wardley came into the story when Carla went to go and see Logan in prison, and he said, I know more about Becky, right?
Yeah, he kind of says...
Than anyone knows.
Yeah, he tries to get Carla to give him some money to get the
You give
dirt.
me money. She says no. He says, all right then, here's a tidbit for you to go and investigate, to make you realise I'm serious. Tia Wardley, look it up, right? She goes, looks it up, nothing's come up.
And we know that is something serious because he then gets beaten up in his jail cell later that episode.
So what does he think she could find out about Tia Wardley as just Carla Connor? Because obviously there's more to find out if you're a police officer. But how did he think she was ever going to... Unless she thought he was...
I think we know still so little about who Tia Wardley is.
We still don't know who Tia Wardley is because the person who came was a fake Tia Wardley.
Yes, it was.
Right, so... yeah, I'm really... This is one of those things where this is not Coronation Street at all. Just like the Pat Phelan stuff, where lots of people are like, this isn't my soap. I don't care about this. I don't want a police drama or something. Sorry, this is absolutely hooked me. This is so silly.
I'm really curious. I am.
I'm worried because traditionally Coronation Street cannot do this sort of thing very well. I'm just going to say that.
Well, I mean,
because they're not set up for it. They're not set up to do it.
Let's move on because I've got a few things to say about that later.
Okay, right. So they go to the pub and they're like, hooray, everybody celebrate our nuptials are around the corner. Let's all have champagne. And also David's an arsehole. Who wants to drink to that? Carla says, sorry to Sarah for being a grouch, and then gives her a load of booze. And then she's left all the troops back at the factory slaving away for this order that was so important earlier this morning, and now she don't give two craps about it because Sally comes in to tell her that she's done it, and she's like, shut up, Sally, I don't care, everyone have champagne. And then Sally says to Lisa, we've been waiting for this.
This is never mind that proposal, this is the moment that I've been waiting for.
I don't know if Carla mentioned, but I have a lesbian daughter. And then Lisa says, well, we'll know who to come to for pointers then, won't we? That was fantastic.
That was so good.
I did want a bit more than that. We do get a bit more of it later.
There's a little bit more of it later, but the look on Sally's face and how she proudly, she announces that she is also...
I love Sally.
She's an ally, isn't she?
Sally the
Sally
ally.
Webster.
I think I am Sally Webster. We all know that I am, aren't I?
Do you have a lesbian daughter?
No, if I did, you would never hear the end of it. Kit calls the prison and finds out that Logan is still in segregation, and then he asks who was the last person to visit him, and he is surprised at the answer. So is this... It's not going to be Carla then?
No, it was Carla.
It is Carla.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been anybody. So he is surprised. Why is he surprised?
I think that he hadn't known that Carla had
known
visited.
About Tia Wardley.
Yeah, because he
right. So he finds out from Lisa that Tia Wardley's being mentioned.
Yeah, but he doesn't know the story behind.
Then he goes, "Oh, who told him?" But how does he know that Logan knows who Tia Wardley is then? To look up who saw Logan last. It was Carla. Oh, she must know what Tia Wardley is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did he know that Tia Wardley was linked to Logan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Lisa brought it up when she was talking about Becky.
Possibly.
And he knows that Becky and Logan were linked because Lisa had told him before. It's all getting... This is what I mean about Corrie doing this kind of thing, because they've got so many other things to do. It's not a police drama. It's not a mystery show. It's not a murder show. There's so many other things happening simultaneously that a lot of this stuff gets lost and mixed up. Right, so he's surprised. Everyone comes and sits down and enjoys talking about Carla and Lisa, and Ryan says he wants to be called Uncle Rai Rai, which is fine. He is now my Uncle Rai Rai because he was wearing orange and he's wearing Conversation Street orange, so he's also part of our family. Tribute, So then we get to see some stuff with Kit, who's Swarla fans' favourite character. We all know. He's on his computer at work. He has looked up Tia Wardley, and it brings up some entries in the system about Logan, which is weird. It's some kind of like internal nonsense about Logan, and he's looking very shifty, and he's about to look at it, I guess, when Bostello just appears. And what is it with this police station and everyone's desk is in front of a door?
I mean,
everyone's desk is in front of a door.
If you should have nothing to hide when you're on the computer
system. I'm doing private business.
This computer system. This is where I noticed the spelling mistake.
There's two on that page.
Again, being very nerdy about it. But it said that Logan lived on the Paul Robeson estate when we all of course know it's the Paul Robeson estate. There wasn't another.
They misspelled views on a tab.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
I missed that one. I didn't even see that.
Oh.
I was also.
Neither did the person who put it together.
I also thought it was odd that Kit was down as K Green, and I would have thought that he'd be down as C Green for Christopher.
Yeah, me too.
But never mind.
Just like
graphic designer, maybe next time.
It's like they don't care.
It's like you think we're not going to pause it in coma. That is exactly the screen that people are going to pull the
as soon as text appears on the screen, you know we're all pausing it and reading it, and we're going to critique it and put it on the TikToks and the Twitter.
Right. At least spell it correct.
Right, so like Costello appears and says, "Oi, what are you doing? I thought your shift was over." And he goes, and Bostello's like, "What's happening?"
Yes, he's starting to panic a little bit, isn't he? Because he knows that Kit is onto him, or he's like really worried that Kit's going to find out what he has been getting up to, and that he is definitely Sustello.
Yeah. Right, in the pub, Kit tells Lisa, he like calls her away from her party. She's a bit squiffy, but she's like, okay to spill. And he says, right, Logan was put on segregation the day after Carla visited. So this is him being segregated because he was beaten. So he's not dead, like the actor who played him thought he was. Yeah. And what if it was Costello who ordered this? Is he involved in the corruption? Is he the one who's driving it? And Lisa's like, I am too drunk for this. We have to talk about it another time. Roy is also, I don't know why this is happening, but Roy's back hurts. I don't know if this is going to be anything.
I don't know whether it was just a way of getting him to meet up with Evelyn on Friday's episode.
Yeah.
I think there was nothing
and the
more
mystery
than that,
woman, the mystery creeper.
Yeah, well, more about her later.
So he's hurt his back, and then Betsy follows him. I thought that was sweet too, because like Betsy's adopted Roy as her weird uncle.
Well, but Betsy made it worse, didn't she? Because she pulled him down onto the booth, and yeah.
I do think that she's very charmingly sweet and
yeah, she is.
Boisterous in a lovely youthful way.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Carla and Lisa are left alone, and then Carla says to Lisa, "What were you talking about with Kit?" And she's like, "Just boring work stuff." Then, right, in his office, we get to see Bostello on the phone to somebody going, I caught Kit doing stuff. Don't worry, I've got it all in hand. I reckon that Swain has been whispering in his ear, but I'll deal with her myself.
So we've not seen...
He hasn't though, has he?
He hasn't dealt with her, but we did have the scene on Friday where he comes in and he acts a bit funny around them. So who do we think...
Yeah, there's another one.
Is this the contact at the prison? Is this the fake Tia Wardley? I don't know.
Is this Becky Swain?
Well, no.
Is this going to be like in the bloody cult thing where Willow, who was the boy, the man, the beautiful man, Rowan, and he had a boss,
Willow, yeah,
And we were like, Willow's behind it all. We came up with all this stuff, and it just turned out she was in it once, and that's it. Don't worry about it. Is this big boss person going to be a big disappointment like H from Line of Duty?
Yeah,
where it's
maybe.
like, it's more of a concept than a thing.
I think really...
Is he talking to himself? Right, so he's like, okay, I'm going to deal with it. Then we get famous last words from Lisa Swain. Walking home, all happy, enjoying her beautiful love and a new life ahead of her. And she says, "We are indestructible." And then the camera blurs as if the person behind it has just like fainted out of shock that a soap character has said something quite as fateful as that. So Friday, I love this too because they're having their breakfast and Carla's saying, "Oh, are you doing your engagement breakfast?" And Betsy's like, "You can't say engagement in front of everything. Engagement toast, engagement breakfast." So she's getting a bit sick of it, but she's not really. And then Roy gets invited to the bistro for an engagement meal or drinks or something.
Yeah, it was the thing at the bistro,
back.
wasn't it? I wasn't sure what it was, but it's a mixture of them all.
And then Lisa, this is when she gets the vibes. Like somebody's listening, somebody's watching me as she's walking towards the bistro.
Yeah, that's when she hears the music. Well, let's get back to her because this isn't the first time. This isn't the last time that we
after the break
have a lurk.
They all go to the bistro for the do, but
engagement
Betsy's not there. So Lisa goes to look for her, finds her talking to Brody, just about to kiss him, and she's not impressed with this. She drags her by her hair to the bistro. Not really, but she should have done because that boy is trouble. Then we get to see Roy at the hospital later, and he bumps into Evelyn, who is pushing Frida Kahlo in a wheelchair, because she says, like, I've got to look after all these kids. I'm the designated adult. They're just absolute balmy.
All her uni, because it's Freshers' Week or something.
Yeah, so she's at herself, and
that was nice to see. It feels like it's been a while. I don't know when the last time. I'd forgot because I read last week somewhere that she was coming back, but I'd forgotten by the time we put tonight's episode on, so I was semi-surprised. But I don't know whether this is a long-term coming back or what. But she definitely added an awful lot to Friday's episode by zhuzhing up the goings on at the bistro, didn't she? So she recommends that in order to keep his back in good nick, Roy sits on a wobbly ball. So the meal is going on, and Kit's there also at the bar because, of course. And then a woman comes in, says, "Excuse me, are you Lisa Swain? I'm Tia Wardley. I'm fake Tia Wardley." No, she didn't say that, but she might as well have done because this is what kind of bugged me. I was like, oh yeah, is this actually Tia Wardley? Are we going to learn something here? But everything she was saying to me just was dripping with fakery. But Lisa and Carla and Kit just didn't really notice. See, but they weren't prepared to be lied to. Why would you lie? Did they question, how do you know that I'm looking for you? No. For one thing. There's a lot missing here that's very frustrating. That's suspicious. This is what I mean about it not being a mystery in a traditional sense, because you can watch a mystery and it's possible for you to go back and find clues that tell you what actually happened. And when you see it again, you're like, oh, I see. In a soap, it does feel a bit like they're making it up as they go along. And when you get to the end of it, you'll realise that a load of stuff wasn't actually true. And just feels like a bit mixed up. Or things don't ever get explained. This fake Tia basically just tells them about how wonderful and supportive Becky was to her when she was going through a rough patch, and she helped her turn her life around and all that. Well, look, she says, I was hanging out with the Warner Brothers. Yeah. With Logan and whatever. And it was Becky that she gave me money and stuff, and she never asked for anything back. And I don't know anything about Logan anymore. I just let go of all of that and bad influences. Yeah, and she ghosted Logan when it was kind of all over, when she started a new life. And I thought that Lisa looked a little bit suspicious of it, but later on it didn't seem like she did, because her and Kit were like, well, that solves that then. But again, I'd be thinking, well, why would Logan mention, why don't you look into Tia, if there's absolutely nothing? No, it makes no sense. I'm not completely satisfied, and I do often miss lines. So if they explain that somewhere or had them kind of hand wave it away, I don't know. But yeah, I would have expected, especially for two detectives, for some kind of rat smelling to go along there. And by the end of it, they were just like, well, glad that's sorted then.
Yes.
Because she goes, doesn't she?
Well, yes. So, yeah, she says, I'm a... That's it. That's all there is to know.
And Kit asks her whether she's heard of Costello. Yeah. And she's like, no, never, no idea who that bloke is. And he was like, oh, okay then. But
yeah, because when we watched this, we both said to each other, well, why did Logan mention her name if there's nothing going on? And then we both said, that could possibly not even be the real Tia Wardley.
Yeah, could they have thought, or maybe Logan was just pulling a name out of nowhere to send us on a wild goose chase?
What that? Yeah, but that's dumb because he has no reason to give you anything except a beautiful little delicious morsel that will intrigue you and entice you to give him money. It'd be like giving somebody like, here you go, try my cereal, and it's actually mixed with mouse poo. He's trying to entice you in, isn't he? He wants you to give him money. Why would he give you send you on a wild goose chase?
Yeah, it was peculiar. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But
and also, if it was nothing, why did he get beaten up in the prison?
Well, yeah, when it wasn't nothing, was it? Because
no, it was exactly. It's not nothing.
Yeah, they know that he got beaten up in prison.
Well, they don't know. They don't know that. They just know he got beaten up in prison. This happens all the time.
No, well, they know that he was put on segregation. Do they know that he got beaten up? I can't remember.
Well,
that was
I don't know whether
mentioned.
I don't know whether they do, but like Kit suspected that Costello was behind it.
Mm.
Anyway,
yeah, peculiar, but still quite exciting.
Evelyn invites herself along to this do as well after she'd met up, and at the hospital we see a shuffling mouse woman, don't we? Yeah. A very suspicious shuffling mouse woman who squeezes past Roy in the hospital, and
he says, "Oh, I hardly saw you there."
And she says, "I'm like a mouse. I'm dead Becky Swain. I am the real Tia Wardley. I am an enigma, and you won't even find me in the credits."
She talked about her sneaky shoes that help her to walk softly down hospital corridors. And I'm sorry, but surely this was the person that was sneaking around spying on Lisa.
Well, she's got a baseball cap on.
The only thing that makes me think...
She is sneaky.
Exactly. She's got a covert cap on her head. She couldn't be any more suspicious if she tried. So the thing that's a bit odd is that she was... whoever this was watching Lisa before she went in the bistro. Then we saw her at the hospital, and then later on in the episode she's back on the street again. So she's been back and forth to Coronation Street, if that is indeed her. But surely it's got to be.
Your contention is that this woman was watching Lisa before and after the party, and then she took time out of that to go to the hospital to sneak around the corridors.
Yeah.
So was she? Why was she there?
I don't really know.
She?
I don't know.
Because this character is a blink and you miss her character. Most people watching it probably don't even remember she was in it. But the Swarla fans are all over this. We know who the actor's name is. She wasn't in the credits.
Yeah, she was Amy Cudden was the actor who played her.
The fact that she wasn't in the credits, quite often you won't get credited if you only have one line. But it's not unusual to have a credit with just one line.
Yeah, I think you kind of standardly do. You know, if there's just somebody in the salon that just kind of whispers thanks very much to Audrey as they leave.
There have been people that haven't been credited, but that have had more than a line.
I would say that she stood out like a sore thumb. And I don't believe there's going to be many people who watched it that didn't notice her, because you don't often get characters who the camera focuses on, which it did, have the clear line to another major character.
Yeah. And be mysterious.
And she was being mysterious.
And give you some plot.
Yeah. So in a way, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of proud of myself because I think that I figured out who that is that's watching Lisa. But I'm also thinking, you did make it incredibly easy for me, Coronation Street.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a red herring. Maybe Corrie wants us to think that this baseball-capped sneaker around her is really watching on Lisa, but actually it's someone else. It's a peculiar one. I'll still take all the credit for it. Not that it was me, the only person that came up with the idea, but I did come up with it independently of these Swarla fans on Twitter because I had no idea that they were that any of this conspiracy theory was going on. But yeah, this lady was watching Lisa, surely.
But why was she in the hospital?
I don't know whether it really matters.
Can work out. Yeah, well,
I'd say it doesn't matter. Well, I think it possibly doesn't matter because they just wanted to show they had her somewhere. Oh, but I just wish they hadn't given her the line the line is basically saying, I'm really sneaky.
Yeah,
it's like
you'll never hear me coming.
It's fairly on the nose and obvious, isn't it? You know, if she'd have been in the hospital and had just been, oh, excuse me, or something like that past Roy, and then we'd have said, that was her, you didn't clock her, did you? But it wasn't. It was like just obviously saying, I'm good at sneaking around.
And I think you're right about what you said about the focus and the camera and everything being on her more than it would be if she was just, if she was a supporting artist. But this actress has definitely got a presence about her, isn't she? She was in that scene. She was in it. She wasn't one of these people who's, picked specifically because they don't stand out.
She wasn't. She couldn't have been in the dementia choir.
No.
Blending into the background.
And she is, she's a middle-aged lady with brown hair, very similar age to Becky and
this is the question, isn't it?
Lisa and Carla.
Is this Becky? I think the reason that she was in the hospital, by the way, is because Roy has now kind of half inserted himself into the story and without even realising this week, and maybe he's going to recognise her because Roy he's got his photographic memory, hasn't he? I'm imagining.
Is he going to see her is he going to go to Lisa's and Carla's house and see a picture of Becky on the mantelpiece and go, that woman was in the hospital?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the other thing that you said that some of the Swarla fans have dug up on Twitter, haven't they? They've seen a picture of somebody, an unknown woman, with brown hair. That it's kind of a blurry. The shot you showed me,
like she's a ghost.
Was a blurry, far off kind of shot of it, and it's not clear who the actress is that's in the photo. But
it very well could be.
It's not a dissimilar face shape to Amy Cudden. So I'm still was a little bit on the fence on the is Becky alive or dead kind of thing. But yeah, tonight's developments have pushed me a bit further into that she's alive. But if she's alive, why is she sneaking around, Lisa? Is she either because she is working for Costello and she is bent as a 9-bob bit or whatever the phrase is, or is it because she's in some kind of witness protection? Because we saw similar behaviour from Cassie on her first episode, didn't we? When she was loitering around the street and then Evelyn's like, I did see you, And I'm wondering whether it's that, I just want to see you.
Maybe she's heard that they're getting engaged and she just wanted to see her because she's thinking, I'll never be able to see her again. If it's Becky. I've heard a lot of Swarla fans saying that they're sad if it is really Becky because it ruins...
It's a bit of a fly in the ointment, isn't it?
It ruins what Carla and Lisa have got, and it also...
Well, it means that Lisa and Carla can't get married legally, for one thing, doesn't it?
It also dismantles all of the progress that Lisa and Betsy have made. But I think it'll all be fine in the end.
I like how intrigued I am about it.
I love how intriguing it is. I love that this character was not mentioned in the credits. If she had been, I just think that the reason she's not in the credits is because whatever they said would have been too much catnip. Like, what could you have called her? Creeping woman? Mysterious woman? Green coat woman?
Yeah. Trainer-clad patient or visitor.
Yeah, hospital visitor she could have been, couldn't she?
There was no point whatsoever for that dialogue. It felt like it just kind of ruined the flow of the scene. It was so standing out and awkward.
No, there was a point to it. It was to make us go, look at who's this?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not, if you want to have a hidden clue,
it's not supposed to be hidden. Listen, okay, right. Coronation Street is for a very broad audience of people, some of whom could be told this is Becky Swain who's died, and they would have gone, who's that then?
That's true.
Right, so you can't all be as very incredibly subtle, and I mean, we miss stuff all the time.
I know, and there's probably some people listening here going, I didn't even notice her, am I dumb? No, I'm not saying that
we miss stuff all the time. It's supposed to be a show that has a very broad appeal. It's not like...
I hope we haven't ruined it for anybody now.
Well, this is what I was wondering about, even to bring this up, because I do feel as though again...
Sometimes when I read theories that I'm really, really believing, I think, oh, that's ruined it for me. So sorry if you feel that I have.
No, but again, this is the problem with the social media age that we live in, and shows like this, which overanalyze everything, is that, like I said, it's like 1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters. Somebody's going to come up with the exact thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Just because everybody's thinking about it and coming up with theories. But at the moment, there are only 2 theories, and that is that this woman is Becky or it's Tia Wardley, or that Becky is Tia Wardley.
Yeah, exactly.
But that woman was not concerned. She wasn't sneaking. She wasn't like, oh dear. If she's
woman?
Fake, whatever. Fake woman.
Wardley.
No,
Or
the
woman.
The green woman.
Yeah.
She was not concerned about anything, was she?
When?
Oh, Michael. She was like, excuse me. Oh no, I'm a sneaky mouse. Bye. She wasn't like, oh, I'm sneaking and suspicious and my wife's about to get married.
No, but there was nothing for her to be sneaky about in the hospital.
No, okay, but Michael, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
She didn't look suspicious. She didn't look worried or nervous or anxious.
No.
If I had just been watching my wife and sneaking and hiding, and I had watched this woman, I'd know that she knew who Roy was. If I walked past him in the hospital, I'd be like, oh my God, it's Roy.
Yeah, maybe, you're right, maybe. I hope... I don't know whether I hope it's next week or not. I think it probably will be. Because there's obviously... The story is bound to carry on next week. Because, linked to this story...
It's Betsy's birthday.
Yeah, you got Betsy's birthday. So it's not like, this is the little breadcrumb we're going to give you now, see you in 3 weeks.
Is this Betsy's second... This is her second birthday this year, isn't it?
This is what people say. I don't remember.
Oh my God,
Anyway.
who is this woman?
Yeah.
Right, so...
I hope it's not a letdown.
So we've had Tia Wardley rock up, and we've heard that she is told them that I don't know who Costello is. Becky's wonderful. See you later. Kit and Lisa sit down and they're like, it's a good job that we never went any further thinking that Becky was bent. And Lisa says, I always knew that she was a good person. Everything Costello says adds up. Case closed. We've solved the mystery.
It just didn't sit right with me, especially with Kit, who we've seen doing lots of sneaking around and little investigations of his own.
I don't know how convinced.
Well, that's that done and
I
dusted.
don't know how convinced Kit was. I think
he is properly, doing something underhand there, and he's trying to make Lisa get off the scent.
Lisa has got every reason in the world to go, brush my hands of this because I don't want any of this to be real. I want Becky to be the woman I remember, and I want to put this all in the past. Kit's got not got any dog in this fight, really.
I think maybe it is just a case of he wants to put Lisa off the scent, and then he's going to keep
on
investigating
but
himself. Yeah, he's like a dog with a bone with Costello.
But is he in with Costello or not?
No, he can't be, because we've had the scene of them together.
Yeah, he would have said something then,
yeah.
wouldn't he? So what are you saying about Kit?
He's just trying to stop Lisa from investigating. Maybe he thinks that she's going to, screw things up for him.
What's he got to do with this then? This is getting too complicated.
Maybe he just wants to find out that Costello is a wrong un. Maybe he wants to help Lisa out and find out the truth about Becky without her wading in.
Maybe he just wants to get rid of Costello because Costello told him off for doing dodgy stuff.
I don't know. Yeah,
and he's
maybe.
like, if Costello knows I'm dodgy, then it's only a matter of time before he finds out all the other stuff I've done. Get rid of him, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Maybe.
Oh dear. Right, so then we get the precinct. Costello's there, and Tia Wardley gets into the car, and she's like, I'm fake Tia Wardley. And he says, I know you are. I paid you for it. And she says, Why do you need them to stop digging into Becky's case? And he says, don't ask me any more questions.
Yeah.
Who is she? Why does she know?
I don't even think we really know who she is. And I thought it was... She's obviously not too close to him because she calls him Costello. She doesn't call him Jerome, does she? So she's got some level of respect for him. So is she... She can't be a police officer because Lisa and Kit would have recognised her unless she's from an old station of Costello's, maybe.
She's some kind of mole or informant.
Yeah, she's not just some rando that he's picked up off the street and says, look, I'm going to give you a wad of cash in a brown envelope. If
Yeah,
you
it gives
go
her an
along with
envelope
this
of cash
story.
for pretending to be Tia Wardley.
Yeah, so she's in on it somewhere. So
but she knows who Becky is.
Yeah.
She wants to know why he says stop digging into Becky's case, and he's like, don't.
But she can't be as deep into the rabbit hole as he is, because otherwise she'd know exactly.
I wish I
the
watched
game
that
was
again
here.
now, because I think she also makes out, or it seems as though maybe Tia Wardley's dead now. Or Tia Wardley's not around.
I didn't get that impression.
I think she refers to her in the past tense, but I'm not sure.
No, I didn't get that impression at all. I just was thought it was a case of her saying, well, we've put them off the scent, haven't we?
Yeah, but why does she care? It is very interesting.
Because she's getting cash.
Yeah, I know, but really. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. You wouldn't care, would you? If you weren't involved, you wouldn't... What? Okay, my point is that there's literally no reason whatsoever for Costello to tell her anything about any of this if she doesn't already know. If you've got an informant and somebody you know who's a bit dodgy and will do anything for money, you say to her, go and say you're Tia Wardley, this is the facts you need to know. You don't say, I'm asking you to do this because of this character that you don't know and this situation that you don't know. You don't tell her anything she doesn't need to know because, you don't want to end up with her spilling the beans by accident. Because she must know some more.
Do you think there's any possibility at all that fake Tia Wardley is the lurker? And that the hospital lady is a red herring? Because
no, because we know this woman is an actress who's been in things.
I don't know who the fake Tia Wardley is played by. I don't actually look for that. But yeah, she could have been loitering around the garage, because she then turns up at the bistro, doesn't she? Maybe was she waiting for Lisa to go into the bistro before she made her grand entrance?
So when she... No, but then...
Are there two lurkers?
But then this fake Tia Wardley turns up later then, after she's been paid off. Why?
Well, because maybe Costello didn't give her the answers that she wants to...
Yeah, but my point is, she'd only be caring about the answers if she knew anything about any of the people involved. And if she knows anything about the people involved, then that doesn't solve anything. It just makes a new character that you don't know what their involvement in the case is. How many people... is she secretly Becky Swain, but with a different face, and she's got amnesia? Like, come on, how many women are involved in this with brown hair who could be somebody who isn't Tia Wardley or Becky Swain?
Okay, I don't know. I think we've maybe reached
this
of where our theorising can take us this week.
Is our brains at their absolute limit here.
I think go and listen to the Coronation Street podcast if you want a bit more theorising in this, because I'm sure they're doing a much better job than us.
They're
taking down intricate notes, yeah.
They've probably got
They got photos linked together with bits of string on the wall at Swarla HQ, haven't they?
Absolutely. And they're all drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes.
Do you want to just round off the rest of the story?
Right, so at the bistro, Lisa and Carla are not really explaining to Ryan and Betsy who this woman was. And then the subject changes and they start talking about Brody. And then it gets a bit awkward because Carla says, trying to be a nice stepmom, I understand how hard it must be to like, it's great that you're thinking about boys now after Mason. It must be really hard to move on. And I think Betsy then thinks about her mum and Lisa, and like it gets weird. And so she goes, and also she doesn't want to be reminded about Mason. Yeah. And then Roy and Evelyn come in, and she elbows her way into everything. Great. She's
trying to catches a free meal off of them.
Yeah. What does she say? She doesn't want olives because they're... What does she call them? But she wants the fancy crisps.
She wants fancy crisps, not olives. I am on the same page as you, Evelyn, any day of the week with that one.
I'll have both.
They just end up... It's just fun because they're like winding Roy up by talking about the fact that Evelyn and Roy are a couple, and Roy obviously doesn't get the joke. And it was a really nice scene. Lovely to have Evelyn in it. And Evelyn's... Has she had anything to do with Carla and Lisa in the past? I'm going to say I don't remember anything like that. But it was another proof that you can put Maureen Lipman in a scene with anybody and she'll just slot right in there and be absolutely perfect. So I loved her. I say if we're going to just have sporadic appearances of Evelyn on the street, I think every time she needs to go back and just put her in the middle of somewhere completely unrelated to Evelyn and watch her cause what should I cause chaos there. It was great stuff.
Right, so I just made Michael pause it so I can quickly watch that Costello and fake Tia Wardley scene again. And she did say what Tia Wardley looked like, so she does refer to it in the past tense. And then she just says, why did you want them to stop digging? And he won't tell her anything. So she knows who Becky is and that there's a case to dig into in the first place.
But I also noticed she referred to Lisa as the blonde one.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really know who Lisa is that much.
You're right.
But I think that when she said they didn't know what she looked like, I don't think that necessarily means that she doesn't exist anymore. I think it was just continuing the past tense.
I would have said she didn't know what she looks like. I would really not refer to somebody like that if they weren't dead.
I think that you still could get away with that.
This is a script, though. Every word should be there for a reason.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. As I say, I think we've reached the end of where our theorising can take us.
We can't go any further.
No. We need to get Kit on the case here. Clearly.
Right. So, Carla and Lisa leave the bistro hand in hand. Again, they're glad everything's behind them, but Lisa feels like somebody's watching them again, and she says, "I felt someone walk over my grave."
And again, that word "grave,"
yeah,
makes obviously going to bring Becky to mind.
So this person was down by the garage at the first time Lisa sensed their presence, and then this time they were down by the Rovers. Yeah. Don't know if that means anything.
Doesn't mean anything at all. Where next are we going to see the mysterious camera
popping out of
Preston's?
Yeah, why not?
Sneaking around street
with
cars.
a pumpkin on their head.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that was... I really enjoyed this story this week. Although obviously there were some nits to pick here with me, I was very much engaged, if you'll pardon the pun, throughout the whole of those 3 episodes. I thought it was really, really great stuff, wasn't it?
Yes.
Even, moving on to the Todd story, the Undertaker under the thumb story, as much as I was fuming at Todd for being an idiot on Friday's episode, I would still say that this kind of did get its hooks into me, or keep its hooks into me this week.
Right, look, okay. Todd is a victim. Calling him an idiot, not like helpful, really, but this is a fictional character, and Todd does feel a bit like, someone we know who's a friend, similar age to us. Bit of banter here.
Yeah.
I know you're calling him an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's being manipulated, and I said this would happen. I mean, it's a story about abuse. You know that it wasn't going to be the end.
You just want to go, come on, Todd.
I know, but listen, it's so frustrating, and I've been in this situation of being a friend of somebody who was in a relationship like this, and it's like being who's the band man in Lost.
The band man?
Who's the singer? You All Everybody. What's his name?
Charlie.
It's like being Charlie in Lost going, it's not Penny's boat. Or whatever he said. Like, you're drowning, you're banging on the window, and the person's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm all happy and fine. Maybe he hits me. It doesn't matter. And you're like, no. You can't see. It's obvious to everybody else. And you're like, you can't. And you're drowning, watching them, blithely carrying on. And you really feel like there's some special thing that you can say or do. Like I wish there was a code, like a special password. There must be some combination of words that I can say to make you realise what is happening, and I don't think there is.
It seemed like on Wednesday he did realise.
I know, that's the frustrating thing,
wasn't it? That caught him off guard.
We've all been here before with we all learned about this stuff when we had Jeff and Yasmin, and you wouldn't call Yasmin an idiot or a stupid idiot or whatever you called Todd.
No, I guess not.
Because we're so used to feeling sympathy for female victims of domestic violence and coercive relationships. And this is why this story is really important, because it's showing us that it can happen I would say that Todd is a little bit more cannier. But again.
Am I using the wrong language again?
No, but it's okay, because lots of other people think the same thing. And it is frustrating, and it does feel like it's obvious. And you do feel like, oh, if you're this kind of person or that kind of person, it shouldn't happen to you. It can happen to anybody, because it's about when you love somebody, you do overlook all of the things. It's this. If it was so simple as being clever, then we would know how to solve it, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still, in a way, glad that he has taken Theo back, because I am kind of more interested in that side of the story. And if he'd have disappeared off on Wednesday after Todd threw him out and was like, oh, and then Todd never saw Theo again, that would have felt narratively unsatisfying, wouldn't it?
It would. Look, and there are loads of people who have done that, who have been in a relationship and gone, no, this is it. I'm drawing a line, that's it.
But they haven't been the header picture on ITVX.
But this isn't that story.
No. Okay, so what we get on this week, it starts off on Monday then. Todd's there in the Chapel of Rest, and there's a coffin with sun on there, isn't there? A wreath of sun. And luckily we didn't get our second coffin opening in as many episodes to find out what was inside.
Why did you say that?
But anyway, Theo comes in and...
This is important to say... that this funeral is the person we saw die.
Oh yeah, the cyclist, wasn't it?
I didn't put this together until much later, but
I thought it would matter more, because I thought that
matter.
It was going to spin off into Ash's story, but yeah, it didn't.
He does say that this kid, 1 minute he's there, the next minute he's gone, and I think this is partly. It is never explicitly said, but maybe this is why Todd's gives him a second chance in the end.
I don't know, maybe.
Because when you see how quickly someone can go from, it's kind of like what happened with Lisa, with Craig, Maybe cling to happiness and love when you have it, because it could all just be taken away from you.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, Todd's in the Chapel of Rest and Theo comes in and Todd confirms that he is definitely not speaking to Billy anymore after last Friday. We also are reminded that Theo's got his mediation meeting today with Danielle. Todd has seemingly forgot about it or something, but yeah, he says I'm struggling because of this funeral and it's kind of really getting at me. I think it's the sun. It's reminding him of baby Billy and so on. And we see the mediator scene next, and this is unusual, wasn't it? It was kind of juicy in a soapy way, having Noah turn up there saying, well, Danielle said that you think it was okay, didn't you,
The mediator's absolute dog crap.
I know.
Oh, well, she says you said it was fine. Yeah, but I'm saying I didn't say it was fine, mediator.
It's clearly not. How on earth could this be okay?
This mediator couldn't even mediate how many people are allowed to be at the meeting for the mediation.
Yeah.
Sack her.
And you can see Noah's just smiling away. It was like a smug get through the whole thing. And yeah, Theo really should have said something there. And I suppose he's kind of at rock bottom in many ways with his mental health, and maybe he didn't feel strong enough to do it and he already feels like he's on the defensive. But well, yeah, I would not have had that. I would not have had Noah there, considering obviously it's just like when Theo had to go to the what was it called, restorative justice session at the community centre with Jess, and he just had to sit there and take it, despite clearly how wrong this was. But tell you what, it's still not making me feel sorry for Theo after all of this.
Good.
Let's have the check-in with Gemma. Do you feel sorry for Theo yet?
No.
I'm still part of me thinking, are we supposed to feel sorry for him?
See, look, I'm evil. I've already established this. I'm a horrible person. If Noah brought out a massive knife and just killed him, I'd be like
well, Noah just spends the meeting interrupting and putting in his 8 news worth.
What do you think he is, on a podcast?
Yeah. and Theo says, look, I think what's better for the children is if we have a 50-50 split. And Noah's like, no, well, Danielle thinks it's 100% for her.
Oh my God. Mediator's
if he's going to be there, at least sit there quietly.
Mediator's like, I don't know what to do here.
Throw him
because
out.
The two of you are saying different things. I don't know what I can do about this. It seems unsurmountable.
Danielle's point is that the kids staying with them is going to mean that they're not at risk of any kind of violence or abuse or what have you, because Theo has shown that he's been pretty handy with his fists in the past, and like when he beat up Noah supposedly, and then this turns into an argument with Theo saying, no, it wasn't me, and it just, it devolves into chaos basically. So I'd almost go so far as to say poor Theo here, but there's still that little part of me that is on Team Danielle as the original wronged woman in the whole of this one. She was cheated on by her husband. But do you think that there have been some scenes in the past, haven't there? Like when she slept with Jason, when we were supposed to be like going, yeah, Danielle, he's thinking to Theo. But it feels like Danielle, and the slag scene, but it feels like Danielle is a bit more being painted as the Wicked Witch of Weatherfield now. And especially now she's taken up with Theo. I don't feel like we're supposed to be on her side whatsoever.
She's definitely using the children as a weapon.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway.
It's not even that film.
Not even that film. Billy comes into the Rovers later and Todd's trying to swerve him, but Billy's like, I just want to say sorry for getting involved with the Theo thing and Miles last week. Sorry for reporting to the police. Can you forgive me and move on? Yeah.
Oh,
so
can I just say something quickly?
Yes, you can interrupt me, Noah.
This week, right, I just want, and I know that I shouldn't say this, to give Todd a little bit, I was going to say slap, but I can't say that, a little bit of the I'll give him a finger wag, go, Todd, stop letting people take photos of you in the pub with people that you said you wouldn't hang out with and tagging you and sticking it on social media. Because he did this twice. He keeps doing this. I've never seen Todd in so many pictures on social media of him having drinks with people. I don't agree that Theo should have told him who to see and who not to see. I don't necessarily agree it's always abusive for you to say to somebody, I would rather you didn't hang around with somebody. If you've agreed that you don't want to hang around with, you're not going to do it, don't then tag yourself in a bloody social media post and stick it online so that your jealous, evil boyfriend can see it. And I know that that's victim blaming, but why is he keep appearing? I really am criticising the fact it's a bit of a lazy storytelling device, because that is how Theo finds out twice where Todd is when he's not around.
I think that, if we forget about the fact that Theo is a nasty piece of work, if you're Todd and you've got some kind of respect for your partner, he could have tried a little bit harder.
He didn't try at all.
He tried to swerve him slightly, but it didn't take long.
It was really unreasonable what Theo asked of him.
It was, but
yeah, he put no effort in at all.
No, so he kind of partly deserves.
No, he doesn't.
No.
It's so difficult to talk about this in a silly, light-hearted way, because this is super serious and people go through this all the time. But it just does feel a bit like watching somebody making really obvious mistakes.
Yeah.
If
he's worried about the state of his relationship, he should be doing what he can to try and appease. But the thing is,
Theo. But that's part of the problem, isn't it? And also, I think, if Todd had said hey, don't tag me in that, please, because Theo doesn't want me to do this, that, or the other thing, it would have set off so many alarm bells in people's heads, and it might have moved the story in a direction that Corrie didn't want to go yet. Yeah,
maybe. Anyway, Theo ends up calling Todd, doesn't he? Because he gets home after this disastrous mediation meeting, and it's the house is dark. I mean, Corrie's dark at the best of times, but number 11 at the moment, you got to really squint to see what's going on.
Eileen
some of the
stopped
time
paying the electricity bill.
I think maybe that's what it is. They just need to put another 50p in the meter or something. They haven't realised. So he calls up Todd and he hears all this laughter going on in the background, including Billy. And Theo's like, have you spoken to him? And Todd's like, briefly, he just wanted to apologise for me. But this really riles Theo up, obviously. And Todd says, do you want to come over to the pub with us? And Theo's, no. He's had a really horrible morning at the mediation, and think what you like about him, I'm not surprised that he's come back absolutely peed off about that.
It's so difficult.
But he uses it. He just then wallows, doesn't he? Pours himself drink after drink. There's more flipping over editing, wonky angles, cut into the pouring of the drink, flashback of things that people have said to him yet again. Theo scrolling on his phone, on his SendPX, seeing Todd there, and then he sees this picture that you said earlier of Nina. What does she call herself?
Nina
Nana on SendPX, of them all having a lovely time in the pub, and he's fuming. He bursts out the front door.
Sorry, how do you go from oh, Billy, I can't talk to you because Theo's mad about it, to photos?
I know. Seriously, yeah, he asked her that. He really
No, he
asked.
didn't. You can't look. Everyone's gonna get so mad at us for using really like problematic language. It's just it's the way it was written. It's not to do with real situations like this. And also, you can't control what people do, but you can also not just smile for the photo. I don't know. It's also funny because he's never done this before. This is the only time I've ever seen him do this.
Mm-hmm. So Theo is fuming. He bursts out the front door, nearly giving Jenny a Rita a fright of their lives as well. And then he he kind of strides off to the pub, doesn't he? It's like he's about to cause a...
Go on.
No, I do. You...
Okay, he's about to cause a ruckus, but I'm just going to say that this here is an example of him and his abusive nature, that he was so furious and angry, and he's going to use this excuse later probably to Todd, because there's always a playbook of like, sorry, I can't control my anger. I can't control it. You make me so mad. I can't stop being angry and acting violently, and it's your fault, right? But here's an example of him being absolutely furious, doing something violent, which is to burst the front door open. Then he sees it's Jenny and Rita, and he completely changes. He says, "Oh, sorry, ladies. Oh, I didn't know you were there." And he's charming and polite, and he calms down immediately. And that just shows you, no, I'm just saying, that shows you that he can control his emotions, and he can choose to not be violent and destructive.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, actually.
And I think that was in there for that reason.
Yeah, quite possibly. Because he goes to the pub, but then kind of strides back afterwards, doesn't he? Because he stops himself from going in. But he still has then a temper tantrum back at number 11, throwing his phone on the floor. When he's trying to phone up Todd again, it's just going to the answer phone. Then he starts kicking things around in the ginnel. And then he heads to the back of the pub. And I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be a massive... to do a big brouhaha in the pub, but he just kind of lurked, didn't he, and watched as Todd was there with Theo, with Billy in the booth, and just to give him a bit of ammunition. This is when we have, I think this Monday's episode is what I gave a bang in.
Yeah.
And I think it was this final scene that really did it for me, because I've been waiting for. You know, we've seen bits and pieces before of Theo being horrible to Todd and kind of shoving him around a bit. But this was the scene where there is no going back. This is 100% Theo can't be redeemed from this, surely sort of story. Because Todd gets home after getting some kebabs for them, and Theo... He tries to pass him a bit of meat, doesn't he, in the kitchen, and Theo knocks it out of his hand and is like, "I don't want your stinking food. Do you know how many calories there is in that? The garbage you put in your body is disgusting." And he's just really belittling him and calling him dirty and disgusting and vile, and Todd's there like completely caught off guard, because as far as he's concerned, he's had a lovely time, and he's just brought back these kebabs for him and Theo to share. And then it gets even worse when he like grabs him by the face and starts shoving these bits of doner meat in his face, doesn't he? And he's like, "Why didn't you come home? I needed you here to help me." And Theo kind of he's
because there is a conversation where they're on the phone, and Theo tries to tell Todd. It went like, he's like, "How did the mediation go?" And Theo says, "Really badly."
That's right.
And he goes, "What? Not bad?" And he goes, "No." And then they didn't understand each other.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't get back in touch with him, and he was too drunk to think rationally.
Yeah, this scene kind of is going to be, you know, if we chronicle this story, this is going to be one of the standouts.
Beat,
a very, very, very important beat. And it's where, you know, Todd's going to look back at some point and probably realise. I mean, he does on Wednesday, doesn't he? Because I was waiting to see, because Theo ends up, say he's packing his bag and he's leaving at the end on Monday. But I was still thinking, you know, is Todd going to fight back against this? And he does, doesn't he? At the very end of Wednesdays, it just doesn't last for so long.
Theo also says, "Don't touch me with your dirty, stinking hands."
He does,
which is another use of the word dirty. They're using that a lot.
Oh yeah, like the woman in the ambulance last week. Yeah. So Wednesday's episode is Theo slept out in the van, and he admits to Carrie he's had a bit of a domestic with Todd. And Carrie's like, "Don't worry, go and have a shower at my place. It's going to be okay. I'm sure you'll make up. It's going to be fine."
Oblivious cheerfulness is starting to rub me up the wrong way here. Because he's like, oh, he's Theo's my little friend, and I know he's got no reason at all to know this, but it's so annoying seeing somebody be friendly to this absolute toe rag of a man.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve any friends.
No, I know. Billy comes bounding up to Todd after the fun time they had last night, and Todd tries to shake him off, saying, look, I got a hangover. He's really shaken by the fact that going out with Billy last night led to that force feeding of kebab. And then he runs into Sarah and they kind of go off to the pub together, arm in arm. And again, I always appreciate a good Todd and Sarah Louise scene. Todd's still trying to give some sort of excuse for Theo's behaviour, isn't he? Saying, it's this conversion therapy that he had. It's really messed Theo up. He hates being gay, but you know what? Oh, he is dead hot. He just can't resist, can he? And he's trying to kid himself into thinking that if it wasn't for this conversion therapy, he'd be the perfect man. And maybe he would. Maybe he would.
It is possible. We as a society, I don't think we've got quite as far as understanding that victims can also be abusers. It's very complicated and difficult, and it's such a taboo because already victims aren't treated well or understood. And so if you demonise them by sort of explaining where a lot of their trauma has been sort of passed on by them, it feels like you're excusing their behaviour.
I wonder if
you're not.
It's a bit like the whole Max thing, wasn't it? Where they almost hand-waved away him being a racist in the end because he was groomed.
I know.
And then we were just like, just forget about that. He was really, really horrible for a bit, but don't worry about it. Could we get there for Theo, where they try and make us...
I don't know.
Forgive everything.
We spoke about this. We've spoken about this a lot on the podcast because we had the same thing with Aaron, and we had the same thing with Jeff a little bit. Where I've said before, a lot of this behaviour isn't as calculated as you might think, because they all seem to come out with the same strategies, and it's not like they've read a handbook on how to be abusive. It's not an intrinsic personality trait, or is it? I don't know. It's sad to think that it's the result of trauma, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be responsible for your actions. Like I said before, quite like from another podcast I listened to, last podcast on the left, is mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. So yeah, it's not, you can't be blamed. You have to take control of yourself at some point, and Theo won't, I don't think. Well,
he almost does on Friday with the therapy, doesn't he? Which he ends up ducking out of.
He's not going to therapy, and also, when he's hearing the voices, he's just drinking and looking at photos of Todd on the internet. That's not a good coping strategy. We're not given the tools. We don't understand. We have to learn these things. It doesn't come naturally to us how to look after our mental health. It's not something that we really talk about. We talk about being aware of mental health and understanding when you have a problem, but we're not very good at talking about solutions and how to have a healthy mind and attitude to life. It's really hard because the whole world is just full of really bad coping mechanisms, like gambling and drinking and drugs and leaning into anger and doom scrolling on your phone. Everything is just dopamine hits and tiny little rewards and distractions from really doing difficult work to help your mind be healthy. And it's no wonder so many of us are, freaking out and not being able to cope.
But we're not all force-feeding our significant others kebab, are we?
But loads of people are suffering, and some people like to share that out with other people, don't they?
I thought it was kind of interesting how there was a kind of semi-truce between Theo and Billy in that episode as well, isn't there? Because Theo's spoiling for a rumble yet again after Gary tells him to stop checking his phone like a teenage girl. Which, to get another bit of a, because Gary's been a bit worried about being his masculinity being called into question recently,
yeah,
hasn't he?
good point.
And he's using this line against Theo. But anyway, Theo stomps off and squares up to Billy when he sees him, and they stand together for the publicity shot almost, and then he's kind of calmed down after the break, saying, "Oh, I've really screwed up, haven't I, Billy?" And did you buy this as kind of genuinely Theo wants to bury the hatchet with the vicar?
Theo knows that Billy it could be an influential ally in him making his relationship with Todd get back on track. He only sees him as a means to an end.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
We get a little bit of the Sarah and Todd conversation in the pub, but I quite liked how she brought up Damon and the fact that people warned her off of him in the past, and it ended up being a mistake, but she didn't listen, so she kind of understands the way that he's going, saying, "Oh, Theo's so hot."
It's so hard because nobody knows your relationship with anybody, do they?
No.
And lots of people have their opinions, but they don't know the person the same way you do, so you think you know best.
Yeah.
You're never going to listen to somebody saying so-and-so's bad news.
No.
You never hear anybody say, "Oh yeah, my friends and family convinced me."
No.
Do you? You just hear them say, "Oh yeah, now I'm finished that relationship. I can see they were right."
Yeah, for sure. So Theo's talking to Billy still for a little bit afterwards, and he says, "Look, can you talk to Todd for me and try and see if you can sweeten things up?" So Billy goes to the Rovers, swaps places with Sarah in the booth, and says to Todd, "Look, I've been talking to Theo. Do you really want to be with him?" And Todd's like, "Oh yeah, when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. He has these real moods. He just can't get over the conversion therapy stuff." And Billy says, "Look, I can't tell you whether you should stay with him or whether you should leave him, but you've really not been yourself recently, so you just think on with that."
Why can't Billy tell him whether he should be with him or not? Why does Billy think
he's a big boy at the end of the day?
Why does Billy think he can't give him advice as a friend? As a vicar? His whole point is to be... He has pastoral duties.
Yeah.
Do you think he sits there and goes, "I can't tell you whether you should have your wedding at my church because I don't even know if you should get married. I don't know if your baby should be baptised or christened."
The fact that he says you've not been yourself recently maybe was just a little subtle hint that...
If I thought my friend was in a relationship that I thought was making them a husk of their former self, I wouldn't beat around the bush.
But I don't
think
it
makes any difference.
I think Billy is also, because he is a forgiving soul, looking to the side of Theo, who has been a victim of conversion therapy from, a church which he has dedicated his life to, and I know it's been a bit of an offshoot to it, and I think he's being fooled into seeing the good in Theo, and so he's kind of saying, you need to be really careful with what you think, because I don't know here. It could go down a dark path, but equally, maybe there's somebody that you can save here.
Billy's always been a bit of a meddling git with other people. Why can't he meddle here?
I don't know whether Todd would listen to him, though. If he said, Theo's bad news...
Look, I don't know what the advice is now, because we change our understanding of things as time progresses all the time. But when my friend was in trouble, the thing that I got told was, you do not alienate them. Do not try to force them to leave the person or make it a condition of your friendship. Be there. Be the person that they can come to if they need help. Do not... Because what you do when you're an abuser is you alienate your victim from all of their support network.
Yeah.
And that is what Theo's doing, systematically saying, don't hang out with him, don't hang out with her.
Well, he got mad when he saw that he was with Sarah, didn't he?
Yeah,
Exactly.
because he took a photo of it.
Yeah, again.
But then, if Todd stopped putting... No, it's a joke. If Todd had stopped... I don't know, it seems like Todd does this all the time, right? If Theo has seen a change in Todd's behaviour on the internet, he's going to get suspicious. If Todd makes his social media private, he'll get suspicious. There's nothing that Todd really can do that won't be seen as some kind of affront to Theo's controlling nature.
Yeah. Theo comes in and apologises, and they go back home, don't they, eventually? And Todd says, "Well, why did you speak to Billy about this? Why didn't you come to me? And you didn't want me to even speak to Billy yesterday. What was going on there?" And Theo just says, "Look, I just want to forget about it. Let's let's draw a line under it and let's go back to how things were.
Theo apologises to Todd for what he says is his jealousy and his self-loathing, right? He doesn't ever say, sorry for shoving a kebab in your face and scaring the crap out of you and hurting you and scaring you and making you feel like dirt. He's even using the word sorry for my self-loathing is calculated to try to elicit sympathy from him, to make him, remind him of all the terrible things that he's gone through and how it's not his fault that he's lashing out like this. It's because of what's happened.
But Todd kind of notices this in the end, doesn't he? Because he's like, "Do you ever take responsibility for yourself here?" And I was like, really cheering Todd on in this scene. This was brilliant. This is what everyone's been saying. Yeah, Todd, you tell him. He says, "You behaved disgustingly. You look like you were gonna kill me." And Theo says, "Oh, we were both at fault here." Well, I know, really was. And Theo, Todd says, "Look, I'm sick of you. You never take responsibility for your actions. Bugger off. I don't want anything to do with you." And Theo's fine. Yeah, walks up to him though, doesn't he? He glowers at Todd, and he was really. That was a really good performance of being threatening. Just like looks at him, sort of side on a little bit, and then leaves. Yeah. And it was like I'm gonna get you. Todd was very scared. Yeah, by the end of the episode, Todd was really, really shaken.
We just got to mention too that this was Wednesday's episode, which ended on this, didn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
And this was very interesting of Coronation Street, and I give props. We always moan at Coronation Street all the time, all the things, blah 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 blah. But the plotting of this story and the script and the performances have all been excellently done, in my opinion. And the juxtaposition of two same-sex relationships, one of which is like super healthy, beautiful, and just, a beautiful, lovely, loving, caring couple. And then this pair who are so toxic. It's Theo, is so toxic and horrible. It's a very interesting contrast, isn't it?
And and they're not making a big thing about, are they? They're not saying, hey, here's one gay couple and here's another gay couple. No. But if you look at it, yeah, you're right. It's two complete opposites.
And I think that, like I said before, like representation is super important. But when you only have one example of representation on a television program, you're in real danger of making any bad things become emblematic of the group as a whole. And so I think Coronation Street has been very clever in making sure that they've got these two couples, these two same-sex couples simultaneously. So they're not like demonising gay relationships by only having one that's really, really awful. They've got two, and one of them is gorgeous and beautiful and great, and one of them is like as bad as any other straight relationship with abuse in it.
I wonder how in parallel they're going to run, because it's... is this Todd Theo story going to climax in the same week as the wedding? Maybe are they going to be in parallel for the next 3-4 months?
I don't know.
Or however long it is to the wedding.
But I can see reasons why and why not.
Friday then, Theo shows up with a squashed custard slice as an apology offering.
What's this rubbish?
To Theo, and Todd's like, I'm not in any mood. I always thought that was quite bold of Theo to even try to go back.
Who does he think he is?
I know, seriously. And he ends up going back to the cafe to lick his wounds, where Billy shows up, and Theo says to him, "Oh yeah, I'm booking for my private therapy this afternoon. I need to sort my head out. I want to be the man that Todd deserves." And he doesn't go along to this. I don't know whether I missed something obvious here. Did he actually have therapy booked? He must have done, because he mentioned it to Billy and he mentioned it to Gary, didn't he?
Right, yeah.
Or is this just something that he said because it worked to get to get Todd to say, "Oh, you are trying. Okay, I'll take you back." Because when Billy leaves the cafe, Theo kind of glares, doesn't he? He does a villain's glower at him, I think. So maybe it was all made up. I don't know. I'm not sure. Billy goes to see Todd at the Undertaker's and tells him about this therapy, even though we promised him not to. And Todd, and then Theo goes back to the pub with Gary and says that I didn't want to talk to him about my problems to a stranger. Glenda was earwigging on them a little bit, wasn't she? I don't know whether Don't know
where that's going to go.
No, and she's like, oh, have I got a crisp in my teeth? I'm still so sorry. Theo says, I don't know what to do. And Gary says, look, let's just go to town, have a good evening, forget about the Todd thing for now.
I think that Theo doesn't want to go to therapy because he knows that he is not going to admit what's actually happening, and it's going to be a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, what would he say?
What can he say?
Would he just use it as a whining session? It's a bit of, am I the asshole where you don't give the full story and you just talk about what your wife's done and you make yourself up to be an angel.
Yeah. I think that he knows that he's
got to know that what he has done is unacceptable.
There is a part of him that will know this, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't
take a therapist to tell you that.
But that goes into the whole self-loathing thing. He's just going to go back to, oh, I'm a bad person. I deserve to be horrible. I don't deserve any good things. I'm going to carry on in my spiral of shame and hatred that only fuels further my abusive behaviour.
Yeah.
And carry on in like a vicious circle.
Mm. Yeah.
I think he knows, and he doesn't want to talk about it, and he's almost maybe scared that the therapist might work it out. Like he thinks maybe they'll know, they'll see it in me somehow. If I've got to keep my guard up and remember not to say this and this and this, I'd rather not go at all.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I don't want to be caught out.
Yeah, good point. Basically, for the end of the episode, it's just Todd seeing Theo and saying, "Oh, you're going to therapy, are you? That's great. I'm really proud of you." And he says, "Oh, I'm." So Theo wants to apologise as well, and Todd says that he's sorry. And Todd,
what's he sorry for?
Is he sorry for going out with Billy when he said not to? That's the only thing I'm wondering whether that is. But it was interesting that they had him apologise just as a way of showing that he's still kind of falling for the manipulation that Theo's doling out at him.
This is going to be so uncomfortable for many weeks, possibly months.
Yeah,
that scene.
This is just the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the thing. We've been building up to this for many months, but this is the start when it's turned a corner. And as you said, we saw it with Jeff. What Yasmin was subjected to then went on and on and on, and they made a point of saying we're going to stretch this story out because this kind of thing doesn't necessarily just get over and done with in a few weeks. This could last. And if you thought that having a kebab shoved in your mouth was bad, you can only wonder at what Theo is going to be doing to Todd.
I don't want to.
2 months down the line. Well, I do, because I was gripped by it. It's it's a bit, knitting at the gallows of me, maybe.
No, but it's I like drama, but this is just so uncomfortable and sad. And it's because it's Todd too. You feel so bad for him, and also the physical difference too between the two is it's very apparent when Theo is looming over him, and Todd won't even look him in the eye because he's so scared. And like, you know that people like Theo kill their partners.
Well, I just and
he could be in mortal danger from this man.
But equally, so could anyone else who spots that there's something going on. Like I worry for Billy somewhat.
Yeah. A lot of people wonder.
Yeah, and even George, like George at the end of the episode when he sees them on the sofa, he's like snuggled up, and George is like, "Oh, isn't this lovely?" But George could possibly figure out something was going on. Although maybe not. When are they supposed to be moving out to this flat? Surely that's got to be happening soonish. And that's when Todd's going to be fully isolated. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't want to leave the house. He makes his excuses not to go into work.
Yeah.
And
this is what happened, when Todd said to George, "Oh, we'll move out, but you can come around any time." And Theo's like, no. We were both saying, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But again, this is how they hide. Is people hide behind these kind of seemingly reasonable things that, in a normal, healthy relationship might not be actually a big deal. But when it's a pattern of isolation, it's...
Well, all I can say is that finally I'm really glad that this story has picked up in a way that's gripped me.
I'm so worried about what's going to happen.
Time.
I mean,
I'm not worried.
What do you mean? I am. What's going to happen to poor Todd? The escalation
Todd's going
already.
to be fine. Eventually, he's going to go through hell.
He's going to be really sad.
And Gareth Peirce is going to be excellent at
He's got no heart.
It's going to make good TV. All I can say as well, just before we move on, when we were again going back to that Patreon episode when we were looking at the proposals, there was the Todd, was it the Todd Billy proposal? And Todd makes fun of Billy for having a bit of a paunch.
Oh, he does.
Kind of pokes him in the stomach. This is like, what, 3-4 years
like,
ago,
you better
maybe.
stop eating that. And you've got to lose weight for the wedding. Or something.
That's it. And maybe this is all
abusive.
it's just coming back to Todd for making fun of Billy's little tum-tum that time ago.
Tat.
Right, let's get on with some lighter stories, Gemma. The boy George. What's been going on there? Jelly Bradley. That's what another possible storyline title, because she's a little bit jealous.
Oh, I love that.
Of Christina. But we're not getting enough Jenny in this. And Jenny's still... She's still the third wheel, and she's being made to look a bit brattish, isn't she? I want... This is why even more... Let's go through it, because I think there's a lot to ponder about whether Christina is... whether it's crocodile tears or not.
Gosh, isn't she such a great character?
She's very, very good.
She's so great.
I love Christina.
We'll get into it, right? So, Christina, Dom died, sad. Jenny, coffin, opened, shock. That happened last week.
Yes.
This week, we've got George beginning to catch feelings for Christina, because Todd's pointing it out that George is always talking about her all the time. And then we also get George getting a mystery text from Eileen.
Yeah, we see what it was later on in the episode, don't we? I think it was just he'd asked to talk to her a while back, and then she responds to him saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's been crazy here. Are you okay?" And then he deletes the message, doesn't he?
He doesn't even bother with it.
Yeah. So, what else do we get?
Jenny goes up to him in the cafe. She's like, "Sorry about the coffin thing." And he's like, "Don't do it again." I don't know when. I think she should be barred. I don't think George. If George lets her in the back room, I think it's his fault now. If it happens again.
Brought it on himself.
So she sits back down with Glenda, and she's like, "Oh, you're holding a candle for my brother," and Jenny's like, "No." George and Christina are strolling down Victoria Street, and she says to him, "You don't seem quite yourself," and he says, Eileen's messaged me. I haven't heard from her for so long. I don't know what to say. And she says, "Well, you're such a decent fella. I'm sure you'll say the right thing." And they go off for a drink together. And then we get to see some great Jenny and Rita scenes. Like we mentioned earlier that they were around when Theo came out. But these scenes were so fantastic because they're out, they're together, they're having fun. And it's really lovely to see them. Those two actresses obviously worked together for a long time.
They go way back.
And
40 years.
It's great, two great, proper, brilliant characters that you rarely get to see.
Mm.
They're like endangered species, aren't they? So they're in the bistro, and Rita's going, "Right, tell me about what's going on with you and George." And Jenny says, "I think he's nice and safe." And Rita says, "Ask him out. What's the worst that can happen?" So they go to the pub, and Rita encourages Jenny to speak to George, but it was really awkward because she stands there and she's kind of like a giddy schoolgirl at the Mean Girls table trying to get in with the popular kids because they're all just chatting away. She's trying to talk to George, and then in sails Christina and plonks herself down and they're all starting talking and excluding her from the conversation, and she's just like, "Okay, we'll catch you later then," and walks off. This is so cringe. Yeah, surely everyone's had this happen to them at least once, where they've been excluded from a party or something. You're like, just kill me.
I wish there was more to base Jenny's attraction for George on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I said this on the podcast last week, but I think I wrote it on the Facebook group. Jenny kind of fancies him because he fixed her leaky O-ring, and there's literally nothing other than that, and that's maybe why I don't particularly buy the relationship, and that was just there as a bit of a joke.
That's just for a funny smutty
joke.
Yeah.
Whereas Christina has been supported by George. He was there to comfort her over Dom's funeral. They've had lots of scenes together, and I'm really, really buying and loving Christina and George together. Whether or not she's pulling the wool right over her eyes, I still don't know. But Jenny is still coming across. I wish that there'd been more for us to go, oh yeah, George is right for Jenny. It feels like plot convenient that she suddenly developed an affection for him out of nowhere.
She has never gone for a bloke like George.
No.
Ever. Not physically, not as a personality type. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing going on there at all.
No. What is it that you like about him, Jenny?
Because she doesn't want Christina to have him.
Well, yeah, maybe it's partly that, but she did fancy George supposedly before Christina rocked up.
But I don't know whether Corrie is doing this on purpose, because when Jenny gets point blank asked by Rita, what's the deal here? She says he's nice and safe, which is like, where did you put your passport? Somewhere nice and safe. It's not what you describe as somebody that you're interested in dating. No. It's what you say when you're making a newspaper advert in 1871 for a widow seeking nice and safe man to take her in as his wife.
But in some ways, Johnny was nice and safe, wasn't he?
Yeah, but there was more to it than that.
There was more to it than that.
And if you had asked Jenny
to offer her security when she was very vulnerable.
If you had asked Jenny at the time, what do you see in him? She wouldn't have said nice and safe, would she? No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't think she would. So, Jenny's like talking about George with Rita and like moaning about it. And Christina and George are having a brilliant time because they're organising going to Chinatown, and then they go off down Victoria Street. They realise they haven't paid the tab. He goes to send Glenda some money, and then he sees that he had sent Eileen a message asking to talk to her on his phone, and her saying, sorry, are you all right? And he just doesn't bother replying and goes back to hanging out with Christina.
This was the beginning clue that Christina is having money issues.
It wasn't a clue at all. It was just... It's something you could go back and...
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, this is the first hint, I suppose, then, that she's in financial difficulties, or at least is pretending to be.
Yes. I love this. I also think it's really to contrast, like, Jenny and George versus Christina and George. Christina and George just get on with like a house on fire. They're so fun and happy, and they're planning things and doing stuff and having fun. And then Jenny's there mumbling like an awkward schoolgirl, and she doesn't know what she wants or why she wants it.
Christina's kind of treating George as an equal, which Eileen didn't always do.
No.
I got the impression that Eileen was kind of very much, I'm going to roll my eyes at you, oh, what have you done this time, you pillock, sort of thing. And I'm not getting that from Christina.
But Christina's
I'm really, really championing Christina, and I don't want her to...
She's the wrong end.
This is another story where I don't know what to think, because in a way I really want them to get together because I think they're great. But on the other hand, I think it would be sublime if Jenny were able to catch her out. I don't want Jenny to end up this story with egg on her face.
No.
I need her to be correct.
I think she's going to be the hero.
I would hope so. I really, really would. But I'm gutted because the prospect of Christina coming into the show for good and settling down and starting a family with George in many ways is just what I want to say.
There's a funny bit on Wednesday morning because Christina stayed overnight and she slept downstairs on the sofa. And somebody, who is it? Todd or somebody sits on the sofa and fishes a bra out, or she's looking for a bra. Yeah. And they're like, ooh, and she's like, oh, calm down. And it's, I just love how confident, like body confident Christina is, because if I thought anyone had seen my bra, or I was walking around without my bra off in front of people, I would spontaneously combust. So, but I love her. I think she's great.
She has confidence, that woman.
Which makes what she says later on this week even more interesting. So, at the pub, Glenda is trying to warn George about Christina, because she's like, this woman is, she's done all kinds of things, all these stunts she's done, watch her back. And she's also pointing out the fact that she didn't pay her tab, didn't she? She's kind of suspicious that Christina is just using him as a bit of a cash box until she can move on to the next bloke. How much Glenda hates and is suspicious Glenda versus Christina. Brilliant. They've both got fabulous hair.
I need those two to have a proper showdown, you know?
I know.
Fighting over George.
Now, I'd rather see that than another Gail versus Eileen, but we'll never see again.
Oh, Glenda tussling with Christina on the street. Yes,
I can't
please.
imagine those two titans battling it out, can you? They'd have to use guns.
Big,
Pew,
yeah.
pew!
No, I was
If
thinking
you know
of
what I
big,
mean.
like, blunderbusses.
Oh, yeah. You can imagine them both being like rival madams in a Wild West town.
You can.
You don't want to go after Miss Christina's bar.
This place ain't big enough for the both of us.
Right, so she also tells George that Jenny's got the hots for him, and he's like, no, we're just friends. There's nothing going on between us. But she's very insistent. When Christina comes to the bar later, Glenda makes a bit of a comment about the fact that she didn't pay her tab yesterday, and she kind of brushes it off. And then she gets a knickers in a twist even more, because Christina takes all the credit for telling Debbie to go to the dementia choir when it was Glenda's idea in the first place, but Christina was the one who encouraged her to go. And so she's like, how come she's taking the credit? And George is like, maybe she's just a nice person.
With everything that Christina has done to the pub earlier this year, it's really no surprise that Glenda is on her guard with her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So Friday is when it all starts to unravel for Christina.
Does it?
A little bit. For me. I think it's when the viewers are starting to question what's actually happening.
Yeah, it is.
So they're in the pub, George and Christina. He says to her, listen, I'm starting to feel things for you, so perhaps we should take a step back. And she says, oh, I feel the same way about you. And then
that is what you would say if you were trying to trick someone into going out with you so you could steal their cash, isn't it?
And then over comes Glenda for them to pay, and Christina gets her card out and it doesn't work. And then she tries again and it doesn't work again. And then she bursts into tears. And George pays for it, and Glenda's like, okay.
Yeah, he
She
gets
gives
out the
him
tissues,
a
doesn't
look.
he?
Yeah, George gets out the tissues and she's like, oh, I'm still so sad about Dom.
See, it's interesting that you're reading the line like that, just kind of making it drip.
She's completely real.
Yeah, it feels like it is real. She's
sad about Dom, for sure.
I 100% think that she is sad and mega upset about Dom dying.
I'm sorry that my
it,
performance isn't quite on the par.
Is it because it's Dom, or is it because he's left all his money to a donkey sanctuary or whatever it was that she'd said? I think
she is using her real emotions to play on George.
Do you think?
Yeah. I do think she genuinely cares about Dom. I don't think she turned up with a plan, but I think she's formulated one.
But we're not getting any you're not getting any.
That's why she's
we're not
so
getting
good.
any glares or face falling when the camera when George walks away. We're only making suppositions. That I don't think there's anything here that we can say that is a clue here.
It's only because it's
Christina
this character.
is being
It's only because it's this character. I love her so much. She's so duplicitous.
But wouldn't it be a good twist if she was just being genuine here?
It would be. Although I wouldn't actually like that, because I'd rather she was secretly evil, because I actually don't want her to be sad. I want her to be fabulously rich with someone else's money somewhere, as long as it's not mine.
Just there with Daisy and Barley. Yeah, by the way, yet another week where Daisy doesn't get a mention.
I know.
Is her name taboo on Coronation Street now or something?
Yeah,
why isn't she being brought up here?
Right, so she says, grief comes up in different times, in different ways, or George does, I don't know. But she says, Dom hasn't left me a bean. How am I going to live? He left it all to a donkey sanctuary, and everybody obviously wants to know if it's north or south. George says, I'll lend you some money. And she's like, no, it's not your job to look after me. Thank you, though.
Again, you're doing it. It's like a no.
I can't do it like she does.
To me, it felt like a genuine, no, I can't take your money.
No, because it's not part of the plan. It's not part of the plan. She doesn't want to be lent money.
No. Oh, God.
She wants to be given it. She said, thank you.
I don't know what I want from this. But
I can't accept it. And Glenda's even beginning to think, maybe
Glenda comes over and says, I'm so sorry for being a cow to her earlier. I didn't realise that.
She's poor.
Yeah, how poor and sad she is.
So George finds Christina in the shop later, and she's trying to find cheap offers and things. And he says, look, I'll buy it. And she says, I don't want to live like that. I'm sick of the sight of myself. Christina, you're a waste of skin. And George says, no, you've got very nice skin and hair and eyes. And she starts to cry again, saying, I need to create a life of my own. And he says, I'll help you zhuzh up your CV.
Because she says that he's got a lovely way with words.
I bet she... what job has she ever held, do you reckon?
I don't know. That's a really good point.
I see her as like an older version of Kate from Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was a con artist.
Yeah. So are you on the side of she is out for what she can get?
Yes, but I love it. Maybe also, okay. Here's a thinking point.
I just see the good in people too much.
What if she is just so geared to manipulate and con that she can't help herself, and she's not even really
realizing that she is.
She's just playing. She's just setting up a play here because it's natural and that's what she does. I'm really, honestly surprised that she ever had a genuine relationship with Dom.
I know that's
the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, that does feel a bit.
I don't understand how she thought that
before.
She would ever get any money out of him because she would have left him anything.
I kind of saw Dom as a handy business associate, well, funny business.
So is it genuine that she's sad about him, or is that part of the act?
She is. We've seen her lip wobble when nobody else was there to watch.
Oh.
But if she's just sad about the money.
But if someone dies, right, even if she must have liked him.
Yeah, she did.
I'd cry a little bit if you died.
Oh, thanks. I will be gladly hoodwinked if it is all revealed that this is a big con at the end of the day, and then Jenny reveals it all. I don't know if there's a way that this story can disappoint me. Touch wood.
I really want her to be a female Lewis Archer who just keeps coming back to the show and keeps conning people over and over again until the last moment when they fall in love properly with somebody. I would love for George to be her Audrey.
Yeah.
Because that was his true love. Lewis Archer loved Audrey, would never ever hurt her at all, right? So maybe if Christina could end up being like that but with George, I think it'd be fabulous. Because she could very well be setting George up to try to enable her to fleece somebody else.
Yeah,
like Glenda, because she doesn't like her.
Every time I see her, I just think, how long have we got you in the show for?
Please stay forever.
Yeah. Great stuff. Let's whiz through the rest because we're running a bit long on this now. So we got the Abai Webster storyline with Carl and people still reeling from the shock of that one. There's just lots of saucy talk between them, isn't there? This was Ian Kershaw's episode on Monday, and when James is asking about his garagey stuff, and they're just making some very saucy innuendos, aren't they? With Carl saying, "Oh yeah." No, what does he say? Carl says, I do body work. No, James says, do you do body work? Carl says, I do pistons and drive shafts. And at the moment, it's like, that's a bit cliche.
We all do that.
And then he says, wankle engines. And I'm like, how did that get into the show?
We literally paused the show, look up wankle engine.
I think that there was a lot of people that paused the show and worked out to look into what a wankle engine is.
It's named after, it's actually not pronounced wankle.
It's not.
And you should know that, Carl.
This is the clue that Carl's not all he's cracked up to be, because it's actually a Wankel engine because it was named after a German engineer, and Carl should know that. So anyway,
it's fake.
Totally fake German, but yeah, that was a great little scene. With the Carl's action this week really is he needs to get one of these cars nicked so that he can get some money to pay back Fiona, is it?
Yes, Fiona.
I think lose track of who he's owing money
Fiona
to at the
Phillips.
moment. And anyway, he Brody gets given a wad of cash by Carl to go off and scout out some cars for them to go and pinch. So Tracy finds Carl in the bistro later. She wants money off of him as well, doesn't she? And she starts insulting the Webster family, and Debbie comes over and Tracy. This didn't go anywhere, did it? Tracy saying, I could tell you one or two things about your family, love. And there was an advert break there, but I don't think really Debbie clocked that enough or take it to heart to realise that Tracy has actually got some mega dirt here.
No, it was a threat.
Yeah.
There was a threat to Carl.
Yeah, Debbie's more interested here in her automatic response, which is fighting back, calling Tracy a lanky, skanky gob on a stick. I wouldn't say Tracy's that lanky, to be fair, but I suppose anyone is if you're Debbie
rude.
Webster, aren't you? And yeah, Debbie's like saying, so Tracy's saying, you don't know the half of it, love. So Carl escorts Tracy off swiftly before she can open her mouth any further. And he says, look, you'll get your money as soon as you can. I don't think we see any more of Tracy that week. I think she kind of takes Carl on his word here and eases off on the loan shark demands, but not loan shark, the blackmail demands. I mean, but anyway, there's some fairly boring scenes, I'm gonna say, with Brody and Dylan looking for cars that they can find, and he's like, yeah, that's fine, you go for one of those then. What do you think of Dylan? I get that Brody is got no qualms about going after these cars, but do you think it's in Dylan's character to also be a villain, or is he just doing exactly what he did with Mason and go along with this thing which he knows is wrong because he's too weak to say no?
I don't get what's going. I don't understand. I all I know is that some characters are in sore need of a confidant, and it makes sense that everyone has a friend that they can talk to about things, because you can't read their minds.
We did see Dylan, I suppose, on today's episode, he's a bit unsure about it, and Carl says, look, I need to know, are you definitely in on this? And Dylan says, yeah, I am. I think maybe, him kicking Brody in the prison in that scene just made him realise that sometimes it's good to be bad, and sometimes tough guys get the better breaks and they get away with it, and if he'd been a bit of a follower and a victim, if you like, and now he's saying, well, that fat lot of good that did with me. Do you think?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, he's thinking there's no benefit. Like, at this point, he might feel a bit as though he's blotted his copybooks. There's no point in even trying.
Yeah, but tell you what, Sean's not going to be happy when he finds out, is he?
Oh.
There's lots of flirty bants between James and Carl during the week as well. We also got an interesting little bit with Dee Dee. It's not, it's kind of her own story, but nothing really happens because she goes for a date with Ollie, doesn't she? And she goes to the pub with him and says, oh, this is Lisa Swain and Carla, and they kind of look at each other. No, sorry, Ollie looks at Lisa and he looks a bit nervous when she's introduced as a policewoman, doesn't he?
Yeah, you said this. I didn't actually see this.
There was just this little soupçon of something that Ollie wasn't really that happy about being in the same room as a police officer. So I don't know what's going on there. Some people I've seen suspecting is Ollie related to Costello somehow. Some people have said is Ollie a criminal himself and he just is worried that he's going to be recognised. We've not been given enough to go on here.
I'm very confused by this. And you'll find out why at some point. What's going on with Ollie.
Yeah, we do know a little bit about Ollie that is not
very confusing.
General knowledge yet, but we're going to... I think that's...
I literally didn't go any further than what I just said for a reason, so...
Okay. Let's not say anything there, but interesting that people are picking
It's very
up on
confusing,
things
is what I was
saying.
saying.
It is very confusing. Right, so what else did we have? Friday. It was... that was when Brody and Dylan go car nicking, wasn't it? Up on that alley that Seb got kicked to death in, and who should turn up but James. And I think it looked like it was supposed to be James's car at first, but no, it was just a Corrie coincidence that he happened to be there. Carl comes along and says, don't worry, James, I'll sort them out. And there was this kind of, they were kind of looking at each other, knowing what they had been up to in bed, but Carl can't tell James about what's going on here. James has got no idea that Carl's a wrong one. He also, there was, who was it that he was talking to? Was it Ronnie, where James admits to him that he's seeing someone, but he doesn't want to really go into it? Yeah, because like we were saying last week, James doesn't know that Carl's having an affair with Abby, so he at the moment has got no reason to keep Carl quiet necessarily. So I don't know when that's going to come out. But anyway, the boys have been caught with this car. Carl is able to convince James that he's going to sort it, and he basically just warns them that they're on their final chance in the last chance saloon of lackeys. And Dylan, are you definitely in on this?
You can't get the help.
No. And we had at the end of the scene as well that bit where the boys are playing football in the ginnel, which I don't know, it just felt a bit young for kids of their age. But I can't remember how old they're supposed to be though. And Betsy says, "Oh, do you want to come along to my birthday party?" Because like you'd said a long time ago, Brody and Dylan and Brody and Betsy almost had a bit of a kiss over the fence, didn't they? Which was odd because I didn't think that Betsy was that interested in Brody before when he tried to go after her.
She's only interested in him because it would be an issue for Lisa. For the story. Yeah,
exactly. But we also got a little snifter of Dylan, didn't we? He says, I can't remember what he says, but he says something to Betsy as in, "Oh, isn't it a shame that Brody fancies you?" Something along those lines. He gave me the impression that he is still holding a bit of a candle for her as well. So is this going to come?
That can't go wrong.
Is this going to come between him and Brody? I don't know.
Tale as old as time.
I think it's worth not making any more predictions about what's going to go on there because we've seen the trailer. But
what trailer?
The Swarla trailer.
What Swarla trailer?
Well, the one that was for this week, and it's got a bit of next week's in as well.
I haven't seen that.
All I'm going to say is,
I haven't seen that.
Watch out for what happens next week here. I'll remind you later. I'm sure we've talked about it. Gemma, highlight of the week.
I don't remember.
Low-key highlight of the week for me was Debbie and her Andrew Lloyd Webster storyline. I think I was hoping for a little bit more on Friday's episode, but I think whichever direction this goes, as long as it goes in a direction and sticks to it, I'll be happy. Do you want to just have a quick rundown of what she's been up to this week?
Well, she's telling on Wednesday Glenda that she's, I need to be doing something. And Glenda says, "Why don't you join the dementia choir?" And Debbie's like, "No, I'm not a joiner in her. I don't want to." And she says, "Look, they're meeting at the community centre. Why don't you just go? What have you got to lose?" So she hangs around and then she goes in and they're singing "I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing" in a very musical way. She's not impressed with this at all.
It's very twee, isn't it? And you got Margaret, the choir master, that's kind of conducting them.
Is it Maureen, I think?
Well, what did I say?
Margaret.
Oh, Maureen, you're right. This, they were...
Michael is so excited about where this is going.
No, but I don't know whether it is going there now, but that was Sister Act, wasn't it? That was Sister Mary Clarence going to choir practice and Mother Superior's there trying to conduct the choir and they're just... It was totally that. And that just made me think, is this going to be a Sister Act parody?
I love him, and where he goes, I'll follow.
Would you... We kind of half started a conversation about this yesterday, didn't we? And then we didn't get much further on it because we wanted to do it on the podcast. But what would you think about them saying... Let's make it a Sister Act parody, and everybody knows it's a Sister Act parody because they've done it before, very rarely. And you remembered this, the Norris and Mary story, which was that one episode where she takes them away to the house in the moors, and it's just Misery, isn't it?
Yeah.
The film Misery with Kathy Bates, and it's a parody, but it's not a nudge nudge wink wink parody. Nobody says, "Oh, this is a bit like Misery."
I don't think
they just do it, and it's obviously a parody,
and it
cheesy
was
brilliant.
And silly, and
both characters were very much in character. They weren't,
and
they weren't trying. They didn't change anything to try and be a bit more like the film.
But it was also a joke because she wasn't actually being Kathy Bates. It was she had a plausible explanation for all of the things that Norris thought she was doing.
So I'm kind of thinking I'd quite like them to just go full on Sister Act. You're not going to be able to hide you doing Sister Act. I don't necessarily want somebody to come around and say, "Oh, this is just like that film." I want them to lean heavily into it and just go with it and everybody enjoy the parody, because Debbie coming in and zhuzhing up this choir would just be brilliant.
Yes, I want this to happen. And, when I was watching them all together, I was thinking, okay, we'll get to it. Right, so Debbie's outside the cabin later and she screws the leaflet up but tells Christina about it. And she's like, "Oh, I was great at music at school, but these people, it's not my sort of thing. They're all so much older and they're singing rubbish." And Christina's like, "You kidding me? I would love to be the youngest, most glamorous member of any group. You should join for that reason."
And that really plays on Debbie's
she says,
vanity, doesn't it?
She tells Glenda she appealed to my vanity. I just need to go and shake him up. And so this is when Glenda gets jealous because Debbie says thanks to Christina and not her for telling her about joining the choir. So Debbie on Friday tells Ronnie and Dev about going back to the choir. God, they got a lot of spare time on their hands, haven't they? Meeting every other day.
I know.
So Dev says, treat me to a tune. So she starts singing Marry Me Sally.
This was a really interesting scene because in a way it was very unnecessary.
Yes.
We know, well, we do know that Debbie can sing because we saw her at the wedding.
This is what Dev says to her, like, I heard you at the wedding, weren't you?
Yeah. It was just really, really lovely. And I didn't mind that there was no plot going on there. There wasn't any dialogue, really. It was just treating us to a lovely performance. And I'd have given her a free bottle of milk for it too. It
did feel like, I don't think this really happened in old Corrie, but in the 60s, in that kind of era, there would have been all these variety shows where the host would have been some kind of musical performer. And then they would have just done a song in the middle of like this variety show, and then they would have had a chat about something, and then something else would have happened. But this was very out of place.
It felt odd, but I loved it.
Yeah, more please.
Yeah.
So she goes with the next time we see Debbie, she is taking over the choir.
I love how we didn't even see her arrive. She's there. She doesn't wait for it. She's just straight in there. And poor old Maureen is there sitting on the
She is so
chair
unimpressed with this. So Debbie's got the magic microphone, and she's like, "Look, come on, everybody! You've got to." Yeah, she's stolen someone's inhaler.
April's inhaler.
And she's like, "Right, we're going to knock you into shape. We're going to reinvigorate you. We're going to put you on Instagram. We're going to get you proper outfits." And then
There's kind of mixed reaction in the choir, isn't there? Some of them are quite liking the idea.
Well, this is what my problem with this is a little bit, and it's not a problem. It's like my concern is that this is a dementia choir. I didn't watch the show that they did. Like I mentioned the other week, that they did the TV series about dementia choir. But I bet you there were lots of bits that were really sad.
Yeah.
Where we learned about somebody's story and how horrible and tragic it is to live with dementia or live with someone who has dementia. And when she was talking to everybody in the choir, I don't know that a lot of them know what was going on. And I don't know whether that was a comedic thing, that some of the supporting artists were just like, I don't know, like, I'm acting like I've got dementia or what. I just don't want this to be a really sad and like maybe one or two sad and tragic bits, but I don't want this to be a thing where Debbie goes in guns a-blazing, wants to make a choir, but then Maureen has to tell her, look, this is as good as it gets. This isn't Sister Act. They'll never be able to do that. I don't know. I just really do not want that to happen. I want Debbie to have as much joy and happiness as she can get.
It depends how early on these
I don't know.
These choristers are, doesn't it? Because you're right. It might be this is as good as it gets. We just want to make them. Music is good for people.
They're just here for fun.
They're not here to be the next biggest thing on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Sorry, but then as the story
I don't
does
know
seem
what they're capable of here.
Yeah, the story does seem to swerve by the end of the episode, doesn't it? Into her saying to Glenda, well, we should put on our own choir.
These dementia people are crap.
Yeah. And in a way that would be a bit sad. I think it would be a bit more feel good if she was able to get the dementia choir into doing a really, really fantastic song. I just want it to be Sister Act. I want it to be beat for beat Sister Act.
Okay. I know exactly what you mean. The trouble is, here I am with Debbie Downer again, talking about real life. But the trouble is that having dementia is a disability, right? So these people have a disability, and lots of people who have disability kind of get a bit fed up with watching stories about themselves where they are turned into side characters that are just there to make everyone else feel good, or like telling stories like about inspiring tales about people that overcome their disabilities, because you can't always, it's not all fabulous and it doesn't all have a happy ending. Sometimes it's really dispiriting to live in that life and just constantly only ever see stories about things that can never happen. Like, there was a lot of criticism about when we had the Olympics. I've forgotten what it's. The Paralympics. And they were talking about, there was a criticism from some people who had disabilities saying that all of the stories about the athletes was kind of like inspiration porn about, oh yeah, I hurt I only have one leg, but it's fine. And it just turned into a story about how they're overcoming their disabilities, and it didn't feel like their real lives were being reflected. And so this is the minefield and the problem about storytelling about these very difficult topics, because you're not going to please everybody, because some people are like, I don't care, I want to feel happy about it, I want to see some inspiring stories, maybe it'll never be me, but I'd rather never think that I couldn't. It's so hard, because this is such a sad situation. We're all heartbroken about what's going to happen to Debbie.
It just feels if she dumps the dementia choir at this point, it would feel like a bit of a kick in the teeth for them. And I would love her to have any kind of choir, but it's like, I'm too good for them, it's almost would be saying.
I don't want us to laugh at people with dementia and look at and have silly things. I like to laugh with people. Like, I really liked Shelley because she made me feel like I could laugh with her when she said a joke about what it was like to live with MND, or how she struggled, and she made a joke out of it, okay? I would never tell a joke about somebody with MND that you would listen to on this podcast, and I would also never say anything about dementia, but I'd like to hear them tell their own jokes, but I never want to feel like I'm making fun of somebody.
No.
And I don't, I would hate that it would turn into me feeling that way. I don't think anybody on the show would ever want to do that, but it's a really difficult fine line to travel, because it's one thing to do a story about a bunch of batty old nuns who don't know how to sing, and it's another thing to do a story about a bunch of people who physically and mentally are being asked to do things that they couldn't do.
I would think it was okay if all of the other choristers were fairly early on stages, like Debbie. They might have also only just got diagnosed. I don't feel we don't know anything about enough from them today. There are a couple of them that had speaking lines, and I think if it was just, then they've been badly managed by Maureen.
You besmirching Maureen?
Yeah, I am a little bit. And they've actually got these hidden talents. If Debbie can unlock that and they just have a lovely concert at Christmas,
is it Maureen's fault?
I'd really quite like that.
Yeah,
I think it's such a clever idea. It's a really good idea, but it's not going to turn into a big story, is it? But if it's going to be there as a bit of lightness in the dark of Todd and Theo in the coming months, then I'm all for it.
Maureen was very sour-faced, and maybe she is just like... Maybe she's a meanie who doesn't think that they can do it.
Yeah, she is maybe... Yeah, she goes along and she kind of says, "Oh, I'll do it," but I don't have faith that they can actually do any good. I just kind of turn up and I feel like I've done my good Samaritan
thing. But maybe we find out later that Maureen started off like Debbie and she was really happy and enthusiastic, but she's seen so many of her lovely
choristers
just leave because they can't do it anymore, that she's become jaded and sad.
I don't know.
She's like Theo, where she's damaged by the trauma.
Right, let's call it to a day. As I say, very, very good idea to have that story. I love it.
It was definitely a bright moment.
Next week.
There was this
I wanted
was
more
though.
That was all. I wanted more of it. And we got one scene in the community centre with Debbie, and it was perfect. But I needed at least 3-4 times as many as that.
You'll know if they're doing a sister act because they're going to do one of the songs. Because everyone loves those songs from the first movie.
I don't look. Even the musical couldn't get the songs from the movie, could they? With Sue Cleaver in that we saw.
What's the deal with reproducing a song if you get somebody to sing it who's in the show?
I don't know.
Can you sing it? Because you can cover whatever you like, can't you?
I think, not broadcast on TV though. You can't. You can
make a cover of anything, but you have to pay the money?
Look, all I wonder is...
I haven't looked into this because I left the Beatles before they got famous.
They could do "Oh Happy Day," couldn't they? Although that was in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. And but if they did that, then that's just going to make Billy really sad, isn't it? It's going to remind him of Paul.
And then he'll die.
Yeah. Anyway, look, as I say,
hit him over the head.
We're finishing this off now. This is run long. I am giving this.
I told you to write down. Where have you? Oh, they're all here.
I'm giving this week's Coronation Street 4 engagement smacks in the face out of 5. I thought it was really solid week this week. That was fun.
How many? 4?
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
And I don't have a character of the week. What's your score?
I'm giving this week 4.5 boobs for the price of 2, which I don't know what you do with that.
Love it. Yeah, who was the character of the week? I'm leaning towards Carla, I'm going to say, but
Carla.
There's a really strong case for Christina. And even if Todd had not back down on... If the Todd story hadn't featured on Friday, I'd have been left with like Todd, you tell him, you kick him to the curb, and there'd have been a strong case for him. George was lovely. Debbie, obviously, enough said there. We're spoilt for choice this week. I think I'm probably... I don't know whether this is the coward's way out, but I think I am going to go for Carla.
I'm going to go for Carla.
I loved her on Monday's episode in particular when she was getting all giddy about the proposal, and then after the real proposal on Wednesday, I thought she did a really solid job. I loved all the scenes with her and Betsy and the mommy thing, and good one, Carla.
Yeah.
So solid week all round on Coronation
Really
Street.
Good week, fantastic week. I've forgotten that.
Let's keep it up next week, please.
Ian Kershaw. Damon was I forgot how to say his name. Damon
Rochefort.
Alexis.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Yeah, Alexis Rochefort.
And then Jonathan Harvey and Julie Jones today on Friday.
Good stuff.
And me giving credit, I really screwed that up, didn't I? I might as well not have bloody mentioned it.